The streets of Salem were a terrifying sight. The witches dancing with the demons in the night. Their evil minions watch the town while it's in bed. Wish 'em dead, wish 'em dead, wish 'em dead. Old Reverend Paris knew that something was amiss. He felt the evil from a spiritual abyss. He knew the time had come to purify the town. Hunt 'em down, hunt 'em down, hunt 'em down. No time was wasted in assembling a squad. This pitchfork army on a mission sent from God. No witch was safe from Reverend Paris's brigade. Their crusade, their crusade, their crusade. Call the magistrate and don't you wait another minute, 'cause this town is going to hell if we don't put away the sinning. And we got no time to let a jury have their turn. Let 'em burn, let 'em burn, let 'em burn. The damned were crammed into a carriage on the square. Their faces battered and their bodies all were bare. The Reverend led them to an isolated hill. Time to kill, time to kill, time to kill. One by one their necks were snapped beneath the cedar tree. The spirits vanished and the demons all were free. They dug a hole to hold the devilish remains. They were slain, they were slain, they were slain. The town was safe from all those wicked dissidents. They could continue with their life of innocence, dispensing justice from a higher power. They built a church atop the spirits and the bones. Their moans were heard as they were laying down the stones. But the witches got revenge beneath that steeple bell. They cast a spell, sent the Reverend to hell.
Well then, how are you today?
I'm alive.
Good.
How are you?
I'm alive too.
Yay!
I have some opportunities that are looking up, so I'm a little cheerful about that actually. So we'll see how well that goes. But yeah,
That's exciting. Yeah.
when opportunity knocks, you should say hello. Right? So I hear.
Take a look at the people.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at our peoples. Rose. Give a heart back to you. There you go. Fabia says I need a proper producer. Yes, actually, I'd probably be better at producing if I just focus on that, and someone else could do the talking. Probably.
Well, 50-50.
50-50.
You got to give me half.
I need a contract
in perpetuity.
Right. Don't you steal from my dog Sally.
Right.
I care about her future.
Right. Because talking about finances inevitably means that we're talking about your dog.
Exactly. And if you did something shady to me, you would be doing something shady to Sally.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, don't go after somebody's family.
That's right. Even if they're dogs. I don't have kids.
Dogs
so.
are family, right?
I have no idea how many toys I buy Sally, and she just shreds them in like a week. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta get another toy for you. But
Pets
it's
are family.
yeah. But if I don't buy her a toy, she shreds the ottoman, right? So it's like I got to.
Yeah.
Funny, hi. 8 podcast, hi. Or do I call you trustee? I think the trustee. I don't know. Unirock, hi. Ooh, likey sherry time.
Thanks.
Please like and share and sub if
Do
you'd
the
like.
things. Yeah.
And if you disagree, I love disagreements. You can disagree in the comment section, and I'm not gonna like go, oh, you disagreed. I'm gonna hide you. Like, yeah, disagree
Yeah, it's
away.
a great place to hang out. It really is. It really is.
Fiona, good to see you. Secret squirrel. Good to see you.
Is that the one who like squirrels away the secret evidence?
That's right. I figure like secret squirrel probably has like a vault of secret evidence in the tree.
Yeah.
And then one day, like something will happen where like a little plug will come out and all the evidence will flow out of the tree. These are all the screenshots I've collected for the last 3 years. Like, oh my god!
This is a cascade, an avalanche.
Right. Who is this guest? Well, this is Savage Minnow.
I'm the Savage Minnow. I have a channel here on YouTube. I used to stream with my mom. I recently went through like a mental breakdown, so like I haven't really been.
I love CJ. Can I tell you how much I love CJ?
Hi,
CJ. Anyway, continue.
No, that was it. That was all of it.
Okay.
That's perfect timing, actually.
Disagree with allowing disagreement.
Oh well. Well, Tom.
Hi,
We'll
Tom. Hi, CJ. I think CJ and I both have a knack sometimes of getting too real for some people, and some people boom out and they freak out and they run, you know, like, but like, I love it. Like CJ's a straight shooter. She's going to tell you what she thinks, and maybe what you think too. I don't know. I said that wrong. But
I don't like it when people try to tell me what I think. It's
yeah,
like
no.
a personal pet peeve of mine.
No, I got it mixed up. That's my fault.
But here's the other thing is I feel like you would allow that on your channel. You would just like be like, okay, we got to like back that shit up. Like
right.
with something. And you got to like express that it's your opinion because like, you know.
We have a debate about who's the best, CJ or Strawberry. They're both pretty great. Strawberry is like Johnny on the spot for like knowing what's happening. like if there's a helicopter in the sky, if we were all spies and we're like, should I take this shot? I would rely on Strawberry because she'd be like the eye on the sky. All right. Fat Photog, great memer. Great. All right, so I'm gonna play a video. Apparently we've got Red's screaming and being hysterical, and
Red's is a little upset about the fallout.
Yeah, he's got some veto power, I guess. Suddenly, did anybody know he had? We all knew that him and Steve talked, and we knew that he didn't go away too far, right? But did we know that he had veto powering? Like he was part of this company? Like, how do you not be part of it and suddenly have a veto?
Yeah, I don't understand it exactly. If anybody can explain it, because I also like there's also conflicting evidence on like whether or not he was like supposed to be like a veto power from the start, because I feel like there isn't, like he wasn't, and then it's been like added in later that was like, oh well, if we have a disagreement and we can't agree, then Reds. Anyway, play the video.
Yep, we're gonna play the video. It's super serious, guys. It's super serious. Here we go.
See what Reds has to say.
See why he's so upset.
More fucking drama. So, Cheshire and Steve McRae are currently engaged in a game of gas match and dumpster, and of course, it blew up.
Oh great, more fucking drama. So, Cheshire and Steve McRae are currently engaged in a game of gas... Oh great, more fucking drama.
Cheshire? Oh, I like that name, Swamp Boy. That's really good.
Oh, great. More fucking drama. So, Cheshire and Steve McCrae are currently engaged in a game of blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah.
I love this. That's my favorite.
Blah, blah, blah.
I like the
blah.
crashed car because he runs over pigs with his car.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Like RTD2 or something talking in the background.
You gotta link this in the chat. This is
Oh,
is
it's
it
so
Janie the
good.
Terrible?
Yeah,
Oh my
Janie
god,
the
it's
Terrible. I'm
so
linking it in
good.
the chat.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, there you go.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
I like the tears part.
Yeah. He's so brokenhearted.
Who did all the crying? Okay, that's definitely a sound effect.
Hey, Fiona.
Oh, so that was Janie the Terrible, and I'll link it one more time in chat. Sub to Janie if you haven't. Jane, I hear.
What?
1 second. I have Uni's voice in my head, and it's driving me
Oh no.
driving me to distraction. I can't focus and Uni at the same time. It was like it jumped from Janie to Uni, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, it's the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to change that so it doesn't do that because it always startles me every time. I'm like, oh my god.
I have mine set different on different devices, and
Yeah,
it seems to remember.
yeah. That's you know, when Drag does his Shanny crying, it's kind of like that, huh? Except you got to add a little more my fibro with that. That's
Hey, quick Shanny side note. Foodie Beauty tried to like do a la Shanny and start a new channel when the previous channel, but she, after her second live stream, got like shut down for like trying to circumvent terms of service. And I'm like, how the fuck
Right.
is Shanny still out there? But anyway,
She got shut down like a couple times, and then
But she's
finally
still
YouTube was like, nah.
she's got Cult of Shanny or whatever that she live streams on now.
Yeah, I guess YouTube doesn't care about kids. Sally, well, pardon me, we have a Sally intermission.
Hi, Sally.
So when Scott comes home, the dogs think it's playtime, and he wasn't home, so I was like, okay, it's safe to stream. But now they're like, ah.
So Lucifer Almighty, Shanny is like, it says Cult of Shanny is the channel name, and Foodie Beauty wasn't using her name either. She was using a fake name, and then she was like saying that it was like the channel was owned by such and such a corporation, which if you looked at it, it was like an LLC that was owned by her. But yeah, like Foodie Beauty's channel was a different name too, so I don't know.
I don't know either, but yeah, Foodie Beauty's a mess. Like, and I'm sure she thinks nothing went wrong, right?
Right? Well, it's just like, yeah. We're not here for that today. Sally does want her cut, secret mixed squirrel. That's why
right.
she's shouting.
Probably.
50!
Probably.
50,
What is it?
50! 50!
Well, kind of. Right now, they're arguing over the bone, but there's like multiple bones. She just wants the bone that Raffle has right now, and Raffle's like, "No, I'm going to chew on it harder." And then she's like, "Burr, burr, burr, burr," and they have this negotiation thing going on, as they do. Anyway, AdSense. Yes, that goes to Kyle. Oh wait,
Um,
our
Patron
AdSense is
Space
non-existent.
says that is it Beezer shows back up?
Is it what?
Beezer shows back. It is back up. Weird.
Oh, are we talking about Foodie Beauty again?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Oh dear.
I got distracted.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Pigs in Space.
Speaking
So
of
interesting.
Speaking of distraction, did you know our stream is starting soon?
Oh yeah, soon.
Let me fix that.
Soonishness.
All right. I want informed opinions only, and I'm going to deem whether or not your opinion is informed or not.
Oh, okay.
Clearly, Rose is not informed.
Yes.
The
yes.
first problem is she's on Facebook. No, I'm just kidding. The difference, I think the difference if Facebook has a lot of people actively trying to take her down. Yeah, that's true. There are more people that hate Foodie than there are of Shani, for sure. Yeah, for sure. All right, so okay.
We're
so
talking
gonna,
like just numerically though, not necessarily percentage wise.
yeah, numerically, for sure. All right, so I'm going to put on the actual video. Ugh. I think I'm biding my time because I dislike Reds that much. Like, I actually like to make fun of Cheshire where I don't like to make fun of Reds because he makes me go "Ugh," when I hear his voice. But here we go. I'm not
Put him at
intimidated.
like 1.5 speed.
One
Go
and a
through it
half.
quicker.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Let me do that. 1.5 speed. He's funnier faster anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, his like rant is like,
That's ridiculous. Right? It's a little
Yeah.
much. All right. We'll put it on closed captioning too because that's extra comedy usually.
Fucking drama. So Cheshire and Steve
yeah, go back to.
Oh wait, I gotta hear about this.
dumpster and
I gotta hear about the first part again.
oh great, more fucking drama. So Cheshire and Steve are currently engaged in a game of gas match and dumpster, and of course it blew up. Cheshire is of the opinion that she was screwed out of money for her services, along with being screwed out of a certain position on a particular
Of the opinion.
Shocking.
The non-sequitur show.
Oh, look,
Steve
then
McRae, on the other hand,
Kyle's
maintains
art.
that her complaints are a crock of shit, best left for the Tooth Fairy, since made-up issues can easily be solved by made-up entities. So we're off to a fabulous start already. So what is my position in all of this? Well, quite simply, Steve McRae is in the right, and you all are damn right that I have his back. I will not be gaslit into lying to both myself and all of you fine people watching this video right now. So we will be addressing some of Cheshire's points that are floating around, but first, we need to establish some facts. From day one, Steve McRae owned the Non Sequitur Show.
Wait, is he working off a fact sheet? Do you think he has a fact sheet like EKC does?
Should I start taking notes? I have my notebook. It's green, so you can't
All
see
right,
it. But
guys, we're starting with the facts, okay? Not his perspective, the facts, okay?
YouTube channel, the very same channel that was stolen from him by Kyle Curtis. And
was the YouTube channel stolen?
well, okay. So here's the thing is that now that it has like gone to court,
and he defaulted.
Right. So it's like they can use that, but like he's being like he's exaggerating the truth here. Like that's
Right.
not.
Well, they always did, right? They were like,
Yeah.
he stole. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like no, but like.
But if sweat equity is worth anything, how much of that channel actually was Kyle's? I wonder.
Well, they determined that in court.
They would have determined that in court if he had shown up when he was
Well,
supposed to.
Kyle did at least submit a lot of that stuff. He
Yeah.
didn't like show up, but like a lot of that stuff, like he did submit.
Right.
So,
Right.
and like there wasn't any argument about that part of it.
And then I think it's also interesting, like the win that Steve has, nobody knows the details of. And it's got to be on purpose. Like there's something that is favorable to Kyle in this quote unquote win. And I'm curious to know what it is.
Well, he got paid for all of his time that he like submitted that
But
he got paid for.
you think it's that?
Yeah.
You think there's a settle? Well, I don't know. We don't know. We'd have no paperwork on that, right? So
Well, I'm just saying that like the court, if he submitted evidence that he like provided whatever like um whatever work that he provided, right? And he can show that like as Steve is saying that like, oh, they're subcontractors, right? Even though they get 50-50 percentage, they're subcontractors. So Kyle's showing, well, hey, like I did all of this work. Here's where you like told me. There's lines in there where it's like Kyle's like, hey, can I like take money out of this? Like, will you pay me out of this? Where they're discussing that shit. So
Right.
like I'm just saying, why would a court not find and like that was you get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. It's an interesting quote unquote win they have there. And a lot of people are thinking that maybe there's some sort of settle situation where they're like, okay, we'll pay X amount and we get the keys. But whatever it is, that glorious in your face dunk that Reds was hoping for is not happening. And so that's very interesting. But I digress. Let's go watch more of his rant. He's very angry. He's very thin and hungry and wants some McDonald's because that's all he eats.
And he fought like hell
Hey,
to
I
rightfully
like
get
some
his fucking show
McDonald's.
back.
Yep.
During
wrong
this
with
time, though,
McDonald's?
I made Steve promise
Sometimes
to never
Burger
give control
King,
or
but he's
ownership
not
of
allowed
the
back
channel
there.
to somebody else. If Steve ever went down that path again, I would have cut ties with him and the show immediately. Why? Well, that shit was reckless in the past, and I wasn't going to tolerate it again. And of course, Cheshire was
do
well
love that
aware
view.
that this was my firm position regarding the channel's ownership. She was also aware that Steve agreed with me that surrendering control was a dipshit move in the first place, and he would never do that again in the future. Again, she was aware of all of this. Any claim to the contrary is a fucking lie. So with that, yes, the current drama revolves around non-sec, but specifically, it's in regards to Cheshire's position on the show and the compensation offered
And specifically, it's my ex-girlfriend.
and received. So with that, let's answer some nonsense. Number one, Cheshire did so much work for the Non Sequitur show during the legal battle. She promoted non-sec, she fought for you, Steve, and she deserves compensation for her.
And I did fuck all except tell Steve that I was in agreement with everything that he did that was shitty.
Her PR work before you got your access back. Right. Here's the thing. No, she doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, I
want to point out, like, do you ever notice how he recycles his rhetoric? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and he sounds like a really bad hard seller. On top of that, like, what's fascinating is, you know who else does that? Kren Sharpaw. Kren Sharpaw has the same video going over and over again. If you watch one Reds video, you have watched every Reds video. He does the same language, the same little clips, the same little memeing on every single video. Tell me he's ever like any different than this. He can't ever.
But I had a point about like what he's saying about like that Cheshire doesn't deserve compensation or whatever. Like I kind of get a little bit like what they're saying because a lot of what Cheshire was doing in some ways was like promoting her own channel and promoting the return of non-sec for like all of those live streams that like and Steve in a lot of ways like promoted her as well. So if you go back and look at her channel before, she's like doing the shit where she's like talking about the non-sec legal battle. She's doing like animation stuff and cartooning and stuff, which like she's great at. Like I'm not saying anything bad about that, but her numbers are not the same, right? Like she's not doing like oh, like she has this great big like channel where she's like doing her drawing shit, and then like on the side she's doing this shit for Steve. It's like she does a channel change, a directional change, where she is like talking about non-sec, and it very much changes to where it's just like these like 4-hour live streams and shit where she's like breaking down the different entries in the docket as like shit kind of goes down. And Steve, whenever I like started asking questions and like he actually realized that I was like gonna make a video about shit, he had like sent me to like her playlist and was like, watch all of this shit. And I think it was something like 36 hours, and I watched it all at like 2 times speed. And
Only
like
36 hours. Jeez.
and I like watched it all at like 2 times speed with like little breaks and shit. And like got back to him the next day and was like, okay, like what about this, that, and the other? And that was when he ghosted me.
He's like, I'll send my my representative over to talk to you.
I mean, that's kind of, yeah.
She
yeah.
will handle you. Manya can't handle you, but she will handle you.
Well,
Manya like tried to be fairly normal, and then Cheshire was like, nah, when she came back.
I like Manya wasn't even that great either. Like she was supposed to like moderate, but like she wasn't moderating. Like a moderator is somebody who is not supposed to put in their 2 cents, who's like supposed to like be there to like make sure the people aren't like talking over each other and like not being rude and name calling, and like, you know, like they're like a referee. Like that's what a moderator is. And like she's like playing on the opposite team.
Right.
Not that it was a debate, but like
But
it was
that's
one of
normal
those where
for
it's just like,
them. I mean, did you see like for like their talks for like their dispute? They brought in Chris Atlee, who is by far in Steve's camp. Like, I'm sorry, and to say that he's like neutral is hilarious to me.
it's yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Is like they don't understand like what moderating, like a neutral moderator is. It's like, which to be fair, like modern day debate like has a problem with that sometimes too, and they have debate in their name. So I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that it's like a thing that other people do flawlessly and like, you know, but
Right.
it was just it was interesting to me where it was like, oh, we were doing fine talking back and forth, Steve and I, and then he was like, oh wait, Manya's muted. She's been trying to say shit. And then he brought her in, and that was like when shit turned into a dumpster fire.
Well, I mean, it is Manya, the hand of Chesh, and Chesh is the hand of Steve, right?
Yeah, I
So
guess like maybe Chesh was like on vacay that week or something. I'm not sure. People said later that it was something like that. So
that's so funny.
yeah.
Yeah. So like Unirock says Chess trolled the whole thing. Well, I mean, I don't think she intended. I think that the cards are so stacked against her, like, and I don't mean a poor chess thing because Lord knows I find her despicable. But I think the cards were so stacked against her. Like, how could she win this? She's got Red's her ex, and who knows why she's like shrinking from him. We don't know. But he's coming in and backing up Steve, and then you have like Steve. Who kind of seemed like, to us at least, it seemed like he kind of sprung this on her. I don't know. And then you've got you've got the atheist pastor, which let's talk about that name. Who
Do we know what this all came from? Like where? Well, I guess we can get to that later. So atheist pastor was where you at. Sorry.
you want my theory? I think Reds and Shush broke up, and Red said, "You will what? These are my friends." That's what I think.
You think
I
you think it
actually
was a
think that
recent breakup? Like that was
I honestly think that some of this has to do with Reds not wanting her around. Like, that's my theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but I actually think it's that petty because I've seen things. But
Okay, see, you and I were talking about this in the green room, and I said, "Oh, I shouldn't say it, like, we'll talk about it on air." But when because you'd sent me this video on Discord earlier, and I was, like, listening to it, and I was like, "This sounds like when you are, like, listening to a dude rage out about a thing, but, like, it's not a thing," and,
Right. And
like
it's got something else.
yeah, you're like,
Like,
"There's more
right.
to this, but, like, you're not telling me the whole story," and,
It's
like
freaking weird, right? It's just really strange. And the idea, like to say, like, yes, let's bring in the secret partner with the secret evidence to be like, no, this is how it is, Chess. Like, did anybody like consider Red's Rhetoric a partner or
Well, and
part of this
also was
brand?
was this like now I've got see because like from the beginning it seemed like it was 50-50 and then Steve's like, "Well, like we had talked about, like making Reds like a what was that like a where he had like a deciding vote or a tiebreaker or like that sort of, he was a tiebreaker vote." Um and now you've got me wondering if like that didn't like maybe come in when they were, like, doing the horizontal tango and, like
I
or
don't
whatever.
know, but like
No,
it's
hey,
just so
or,
strange.
like, that they had something romantic going on, and then that was how that came into the picture with because it was a 50-50 partnership. Where does Reds come into this?
I don't know, man. Like it's just
He
so
even
strange.
says it's a 50 I guess it's over there. He even says 50-50 partnership, but, like, why do you have a vested interest in this, Reds?
Well, if we were to rewind, if I could turn back time and we go back, when Narnsec started, some of the momentum train was when Reds was had an engaging channel and had these ride or die bros backing him up, and boy were they bros. And he did bring a viewership to Nonsec. And so like there's that, I guess, right? And there's that ride or die bro thing that him and Steve have, which is we're yeah, yeah. So I don't know.
I mean,
Reds has a lot
I
of the same traits as Steve, both manipulative, possessive in the same ways, both love to abuse others' trust. You want to make a deal with me?
I
This
mean,
right?
it's well, but I kind of feel like there were a lot of people that like brought in viewership there at the beginning, though. You think it was just Reds?
Oh,
Well,
I think Reds
there's
takes
a
some
group.
glory for it, right? Like because he had an he had the kind of viewers that for some reason would just do what he said. They would fork over money. They would buy him cameras and drones and like Sean's homeless again or whatever is wrong with Sean this time. He needs his boobs removed. I don't know. Like whatever was happening with Sean, all the things that happen all the time, they would be like, "Oh, we got to get," and they would
I
like
wish I
fork
had
over
viewers
money,
to
like
pay for things.
right, like he's got he had like a
No,
gig
wait,
that
that sounds
reminded
like
me.
I'm not grateful. I'm grateful for my
Right.
Patreon supporters. They pay for my YouTube premium every month. You guys are amazing.
But he had a gig that reminded me of televangelists. He had the hype and he had the yeah, yeah, yeah kind of thing going on, and this is what you can do and you can be part of that. And then when he
People like that.
and then when yeah, the illusion that you're actually a part of everything, right? So then when Nonsec fell apart and you have, Kyle, uh, you know, you know, saying all sorts of promises that he wasn't keeping and all sorts of stuff. And Steve start or not Steve, Red's Rhetoric started in with the rhetoric as he does. It was, Kyle steals from kids, aka, Steve's kid. It was
Don't,
we are
don't, don't. We're
monsters.
not talking about her. No, purple titties, purple titties, purple
I'm talking about their tactics.
titties.
Um, or he would go, "You're non-sec. You're non-sec." Kyle didn't just steal from Steve; he stole from you. He stole from the viewers, and we are doing this for you. And that hype and that way of speaking is how Red's Rhetoric has always spoke on his channel. and then it went over to non-sec with that like thing. And then you still see it now where Steve's trying to do it, but he's not as good at it as Reds is. And he's going,
Yeah.
we're going to sue Katie Joy Paulson, and I'm doing it for you. Donate to my GoFundMe now. It's for you. I'm going to take the hit, and I'll be that champion, but I'm going to do it for all of you. Like that same
But look at all the stuff that
speech.
I did. But like it was us. But
Yeah.
like me,
But
me,
in
me.
the
But
end,
us.
But in
me.
the end, trust me, non-sec is not all those people that said I am non-sec. Non-sec is Red's Rhetoric and Steve. That's non-sec. Now, it was never even Chesh, which Chesh
Yeah.
apparently jokes
I
on
don't
you,
think
Chesh.
I see. Here's the thing, though, is like it's not Reds and Steve. It's Red or it's Steve. It's just Steve, and that's like Reds hasn't been fucked over yet. I don't know that he will be, but like I like Reds. Do you have a written contract? Because unless you're willing to like literally like just volunteer all of your time, which it sounds like you might be, so like whatever, then it's fine, then whatever, but like
Do you really think that Reds would just volunteer his time?
I mean, unless you want to get like fucked over, like that's right, like you kind of have to just like either you know what I mean. If you're gonna work with Steve, like you either got to get paid up front or you got to
Yeah.
get it in writing, or you're not gonna get paid.
Reds was the first to say we when referring to a court case as if he was also the plaintiff. Yes. And he does it on purpose, right?
Is he inserting himself into the non sequitur show? Is that
Well, I mean,
because I mean Steve's happy to have him there.
I
but,
remember
like,
Kyle saying something to the degree of Red's Rhetoric's coming for this channel. So like it seemed very clear to Kyle that Red's Rhetoric was gunning for the channel, and Cheshire was somebody that was just sort of in the way. So who knows, right? But yeah, it's fascinating. I know it's all
see,
working
because
for
I was
Steve. Because
like,
why? Why is he a good person? Is Steve a really good person? Does he deserve to like not work for the rest of his life like everybody fucking does? Like, why do they do that for Steve?
if you work for Steve, you should be wearing like a legal bulletproof vest. Yeah, as far as like getting your contract and shit in order, paperwork in
Yeah.
order. Yeah.
Yeah, bring on the fundraisers.
Too fought for Steve and told Kyle to eat a dick on multiple occasions.
Eat a dick!
And I wasn't
He would do
alone.
well at that,
The
I
whole
think, April.
community came together and gave a very firm fuck you to Kyle for pulling the shit that he pulled.
Fuck
and
you,
Cheshire was
Kyle.
part of that unified front. Both I and Steve
Unified!
Were
We were
under the
all in
impression that Cheshire
agreement.
was of the
We're
same mindset
cool.
as the rest of you fine people who haven't sent us a bill in the mail. So the
Also,
rest of you,
where's
essentially.
his
That
36-hour playlist going line by line of all the docket entries about the court case? Like, if he's saying, like, oh, well, we all did shit for the court case, we all helped out. Like, okay, where's your 36-hour playlist?
All he did was rile up people to the point where they said, Kyle, you should go jump off a bridge. That's what he did. Kyle got death threats from Red supporters. That's what you did, Reds. Good job. That's all you managed to do. That was your work. Good job. So like if I was to look at who did more heavier lifting, even though I think the goblin's useless, the goblin was around through the whole thing, right? Where the fuck is he?
I mean, she was there doing that shit the whole fucking time, not getting paid, basically doing a full-time job, part-time job, maybe. We'll say part-time job.
I mean, it is a full-time job making up lies, saying that Nate's a dirty cop. Drag is a registered sex offender. Nate is not a real lawyer. Nate planted evidence. There's more lies. Let me think here. There was a lie going through Nate hits his kids. That Nate harassed Sweet Heathen. A lot of lies about Nate. particularly. And Drag had one. Fiona, obviously, Fiona, quote unquote, quotation marks, sexually harassed Red's Rhetoric in an airport in front of everybody, and because she gave a European kiss, that was a lie that Cheshire and Red's spread around. And she had been gunning for Shannon Q. They had been gunning for KC. Like just the list goes on and on about the lies and the rhetoric that they told like several people. And that's a full-time job, right? Like that keeps you really busy. And you know, Cheshire
I mean, the
just
amount that they are on social media, like that would be, you could not pay me to be on social media that much.
right. Yeah. I mean, Cheshire lied so much that that in itself should be itemized, and she should charge for each lie that she spread about each person that was one of Steve's detractors. That in itself, you should just itemize it, Cheshire, and charge for it. That was a lot. I mean, you called that what? Troll management? Isn't that what you called it? And then Steve acknowledged that you did that because now you're a troll and a sociopath because you weren't before. So Steve very well knows her skill set. And I hold him as equally responsible for everything that she did because he was sharing it and thumbs upping it and going, this is what these people do. And then pretending like his hands are clean. Yeah. This guy. All right. I'm going to continue.
We are fighting against Kyle on principle because it is the right thing to do.
It's the right
However, when
thing
it comes
to
to
do.
Cheshire, I guess we were fucking wrong on that because apparently she equates her troll bashing and stating the fucking obvious on Twitter sometimes as actual PR work and not as something one does in their free time when they see some obvious bullshit on the internet. And since it's PR work, it of course
Oh, Red's Rhetoric. I mean, you had her produce a layered argument and you worked in tandem with her. You know how complicated it gets.
has a price. And to the surprise of everybody, we should be on the hook for that? Yeah, what a twist. That's kind of fucked up, especially when you consider the total lack of any contract, communication of expectations, and the fact that she went ahead despite these two things in the first place. There was no contract. There was no deal. There was no promise in regards to your PR work, in quotes, Chesh. That's the first reason Steve was absolutely right when he said that your PR work was worth $0 and you would be paid as much for it.
I mean, look what you do. Fuckity 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 fuck. Suck a dick. Like that's what you do. And people paid you. I'm just saying.
Steve never agreed to pay whatever figure you're pulling out of your ass. And that's the case whether you're serious with that bullshit or just making a point. Whatever the fuck that means. But for the second reason Steve is right in regards to your PR bullshit, let's start with my contributions to Non Sequitur. I provided damn good content for the show. I was in debates, which generated a fuck ton of traffic and engagement.
Hang on. Is Red's Rhetoric a good debater? Let's discuss. Well, if he ever leaves his wheelhouse of flat earth land, he is as bad as G-Man. I encourage anybody to debate him. He is comedy. He is bad at debate. So please, somebody debate him out of the wheelhouse of flat earth and watch him lose. Like you just, it's so bad.
I mean, you can have a specialty though. Like, I don't want to like I can't debate people on anything. So like,
but he's illogical, like on all counts. Like he's one of the most illogical people. Like it's like you can just count the fallacies. He's as bad as EKC. I don't think he's any smarter than EKC. And EKC, I just love listening to her fallacies. Like I'm like, oh, there's that, you know, going down the line. But EKC was never in debate. Red's Rhetoric, what's your excuse? Like he's that bad. I'll have to show you a debate where he's just so horrible. It's really funny.
I worked with Steve and Kyle to secure amazing guests. They even put my logo on a t-shirt and sold it as official merch. And then after Kyle committed his criminal act against Steve, it was my channel that broke the news.
Whoa.
As time went on, I stayed on top of this shit through.
He said criminal act. There, Kyle could actually sue for that, by the way. That's defamation. There was no criminal act.
Wait, I thought he was talking about the. I thought it was a criminal act.
No, it's not a. It wasn't a. It was a civil suit that was dismissed.
I thought the assault was a criminal.
Kyle committed a criminal act against Steve.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah, when Kyle got slappy, that was not against Steve.
Oh, sorry.
Even
I
though
missed the
Steve
part where it was
pretends
against
that it
Steve.
is. Right.
I missed the part where it was against Steve. My bad.
Steve's like, I too have been slapped by a sidewalk after Applebee's.
It was my channel that broke the news. As time went on, I stayed on top of this shit through every filing, providing updates and debunking pro-Kyle bullshit along the way, right alongside you. I had multiple streams with OPT lawyer.
So he's trying to
reading
say
the
it was
docket submitted
theft?
so an actual lawyer who is worth a damn could decipher.
He's starting to say what?
Is he trying to say it was theft that like Kyle stole the
Yes.
channel?
Yes. Yes. Which we can talk about the ethics of stealing time and getting paid for doing nothing, which would be my question for Steve. Talking about ethics.
Well, I mean,
Right.
he was in the military, so like.
Yeah. Time theft isn't the thing in the Navy, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
You went to nuke school?
For the legal jargon. I did all of this and more over a period of 3 years. And for my contributions, I am owed the same amount you are owed, Chesh, $0. But why? Why do I say that we are owed $0, Chesh? I mean, after all, we did the work. Because Steve McRae is my friend. And he was yours too. And that is reason number 2. We don't pay friends to do friend shit.
That's what Kyle said to Steve. Steve McRae's my friend. I don't need to pay him.
Right. I mean, we're all just friends here, right?
Also, have some goddamn respect, Minnow. A channel died.
Sorry.
God damn.
I was gonna say something, damn it. And I got distracted, but like that was good. That was good. Yeah, it might come back.
It's okay. I think you partook before we started this stream. So we're gonna have to move along. It's okay.
If we had known that you
I'm
would
just
eventually
jealous
pull
'cause
this
I
kind of
can't partake.
nonsense, I'm sure we would have told you to fuck off. Since we
I
are of
also
the
have a
strong
last
opinion
little bit
that
of Girl
friendship
Scout cookies.
is not a
Like
subscription-based
literal Girl Scout
service.
cookies.
I have
Now,
questions.
You guys may want to sit down for this one because I'm about to blow your fucking mind. Because how much is she asking for? How much does she want for all the PR work that she did for Nonsec? $50,000. I shit you not. But wait.
That's really not that much.
Well,
That's really not that much. Didn't he get more than that for? It was supposedly worth more than that, right?
yeah, it was supposedly worth like 100K or something is what he's suing for Kyle, right? So then she says she makes an outlandish demand on purpose. She wants to throw the whole fucking thing and be like, yo, I'm just throw out a number to piss Steve off because she knew she was screwed. Like she can't stay on there with all these people like hating on her, right? So like she throws out this outlandish number. But technically,
She
yeah,
knew it
if
was
you
the
worked for
end.
2 years,
She knew
if
it
you
was
worked
the
for
end at
2
that point.
years, yeah. 2 years, 50K is not a lot to ask for. However, I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it is a bit unreasonable since the channel isn't actually back to where it was before. So like on one end, yes, 50K is not a lot for 2 years of working. That's like less than minimum wage, is it not? Like
Right.
yeah.
Right. And the thing is like I was saying before, she wants to win. She wants to win.
Right.
And
she won't win by staying with these guys. So there's another way to win, right? It's to take
right.
all his supporters.
Right.
Which is what she did. It's pretty clever.
And frankly, depending on where Steve lives and what the rules are in his county, she could file a suit against him. And in some places it costs as little as like $15 to do so. So if she like actually knows like what she needs to like go to court with him, she probably couldn't win.
In the
but she
state
could
of
give him a pretty
California?
costly
In the
legal
state
battle.
of California, I bet she could win because it is so slanted towards employees that like I think she could win in this state.
She would need to get a lawyer and
Yeah.
invest money into it. I was thinking representing herself
And he's
as a
not
Canadian.
collectible. Like he's less collectible than Kyle is.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But she, like, in theory, could like win
Mhm.
and win that amount. She'll never get that amount. She'll never get it. Even in a court. But
Right. Rev Ruin stated she intentionally wanted to yank the mediation and use it to help people out sympathy. Yeah, probably.
say that again? Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, I don't know how to say that name, but yeah.
Rev even stated that he wanted to intentionally yank mediation and use it to bill people out of sympathy donations. I mean, there's so much shady shit going on that it's like one of those things where it's like, what is the saying? Like, if you hang out with pigs, like, prepare to like get like muddy or whatever. Like, it's like, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen? Like, let's look at the history of the show and the people like who have stuck with it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, like would I see people that are like, okay, like you know what, this is not cool, like I'm out of here. Like that's one thing, but like when people are like, I'm just gonna like stick around and like cling to cling to the sinking Titanic. Don't be surprised when like this one saying is like Reds hasn't been screwed over yet, but like if he does get screwed over, I'm not gonna be like, oh, shock.
Well, I mean, I wasn't shocked about Cheshire getting screwed over. I was kind of looking at it going like this woman's days are numbered, right? Because the writing was on the wall because she can't help herself. And he doesn't like to be contradicted on stream. We know this because Drag told a story in the early days, back in the days. If you paid attention to how he was back in the days, you could have maybe avoided all this drama, guys. But you didn't. Instead, you were idiots. But anyway, like back in the days, Drag said that oh my goodness. I have not had Girl Scout cookies and my brain just went oop. I got distracted from something shiny.
Sorry.
What was I on? I
Tree
was on
flies.
about what wait, hang on, walk me back. Hang on a second. ADHD stream. This is what you should call this. Like
He doesn't like to get corrected.
right. Yes. And so if he gets corrected or by her and she's wrong or she's so insistent, like one of the most recent stupid moves that she did was she was yelling on non sequitur about how history is a hard science, and you could tell on his face he's getting pissed off
I remember
because
that. It was hilarious.
she's A, a moron, and B, like she's fighting with him, right? And he's like this is not good TV.
Well, and like the chat was like, what the fuck? And then
Right.
so she's like arguing like with the chat, and like Steve's like, okay, moving on, like trying to just
Right.
fucking move on. Yeah.
Thank you. God hates us all. Jesus loves you. Anyway, the story was about scientist Sam correcting Steve. Yes, scientist Sam corrected Steve on stream, and that was very upsetting for Steve. And Steve had somebody handle Sam and talk to Sam, saying, "Don't correct Steve on stream. He don't like that." Yeah, yeah. So I don't know who would handle Chesh because she's a wild card. Yep. All right, I guess we should watch more Reds. You can tell how thrilled I am listening to Reds.
There's more. She also wanted an additional $15,000 for Steve supposedly breaking a gentleman's agreement to not talk about the negotiations for 48 hours. I find this hilarious for many reasons. So I'm going to dismiss that $15,000 thing as a joke and pretend that.
So it was like a gentleman's agreement, because like the way that I heard it was like they agreed not to do anything, but I guess they agreed to not talk about it.
I don't know. That I'm confused about. I don't know.
She kept saying that he paid Kyle. Which I did find. Well, didn't Kyle's still the one getting the AdSense, isn't he? As
Yeah,
far
he's
as we
getting.
know?
I have yet to hear any news about AdSense being corrected, which is funny. And they have shows coming down the pipe. So yeah.
Well, and like the channel is live. It's like they're running ads, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're getting any super chats or anything right now, but yeah.
Oh, they are.
And it
It's
was
going to
never
Kyle.
brought up. But even then,
I meant
Chesh,
like
you
right
expect us
now.
to
Now.
believe that because you
This
have the
moment.
ability to trace on a tablet without a contract and make fuck you Kyle tweets every now and then, that you are entitled to the value of a BMW 4 Series?
Oh my God, a BMW 4 Series. Oh my God. Imagine if she asked for a Tesla. You know, Teslas, you know, the car that you want, but you can't afford because you're too lazy. Yeah, that one.
Well, also like my pickup truck is like 20 grand. You know what I mean? Like
Rip.
cars are expensive.
I like how he's just like, shocker, BMW. And then,
Also,
like,
I love
we're
that
all
he's
supposed
like
to be outraged.
also like but I'm laughing about like the fact that it's like a BMW and like everybody like on the other side of the pond is like, yeah, and
Right?
It's
Like, we're like, BMW or Mercedes. And, like, they're like, huh? Like, it's normal. That's like
so
a Honda.
yeah, like a Chevy.
Yeah, like a rock. Damn.
It's not like it's a fucking Lamborghini, Reds. All right, like
Oh my gosh.
this
Yes,
is why I told my wife to stop calling me Red. It's because people like you.
ruined it. Even though Red's Dead Redemption's a good game. That's a good game.
I did the other day. I told my wife, I was like,
Can you
No,
stop
you-
calling me Red now?
I don't want you to call me Red. Hey,
Oh.
she got to change her name. Thought it was time I changed mine.
We should give you like a theater name here, like Ophelia? Or should we just call you Ophelia?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
This
fine.
is Ophelia. How do I say your last name? Hartwig?
Hartwig, yeah.
Okay.
That's
I
my
thought-
stage name.
Yep, her stage name.
I
Now
have
you know her
presented under
docs.
that name.
You
Yeah.
just doxed Ophelia here.
Yeah. People have like sent it to me before. They're like, "Did you see that you got doxxed?" I'm like,
Because who
No,
would
didn't-
choose that name?
"All right, thanks."
Actually, I like
Judge
Ophelia.
Anderson.
Or Ophelia, though. She floats down the river or something in Hamlet.
Yeah.
It's like the
There's-
famous depressive.
There's a few like Ophelias that I actually just like. I liked the sound of it. That's why I chose the name. And since then I've come across like a few Ophelias that I like forgot about kind of in literature. Like there's one in Uncle Tom's Cabin, and I'm like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
every time
Oh.
they say it, I'm like,
Well, the good news is most people will think about. The good news is that most people will think about Hamlet and not Uncle Tom's Cabin.
yeah, that is which I guess is good news.
Women talking about cars. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. BMW. It's a beamer. It's a beamer.
So one thing you'll know about me if you actually hung out with me, you'll find that I'm like a redneck light. So like you'll find that like
You're like a California redneck.
right, I was born in Alabama, but I lived in California all my life, right? So I'm a little bit of like SoCal beach bum, and then I'm like, let's go off-roading. Like it's a little bit of a, and so
Let's
like
do burnouts in the driveway.
not it no burnouts. But if you said like you want to crawl up that rock, I might be like, yeah, let's do it. Like it's it's a good time.
So if we were hanging out and I was like, that looks like a cool tree, I'm gonna climb it, you would be like, okay.
I would support that, and I'd say just don't break your arm. And then if you broke your arm and fell, I am a very anxious freak about like all sorts of things. But if you broke your arm and fell, something would kick into me where I'd compartmentalize and be like, "Oh, your arm's broken," and you'd be like, "Ah, ah," and bone would be popped out and blood everywhere, ah, and your arms like going, "Ugh," and I would just be like, "That's cool," and then
You
I
would
would
be
call
like,
911
splint, rah!
because I don't want to like try to like, and then I'd be like, "Should we splint this or not splint this?" And then. But I would be calm about it, and I'd be like, "You're gonna be fine. Everything's fine. Let's not look at it."
No blanket over that.
I
You
was
know,
gonna look at it.
I injured my toenail a while back, and I'm not gonna like go into details about it because people like have a very visceral response when I explain what happened. So we don't have to talk about it. But the whole time that I was like at the ER like waiting because it was like low priority, it was fine. Like it was such like a not big deal, but it was very
You
much a
went to
bloody
the
mess and it
ER
was
with the broken toenail? I just like stopped the
I
bleeding
did
and was like,
not. The
"Oh, I'm
toenail was
chilling."
in one piece. It was just not completely connected
Oh,
to my toe anymore.
okay. That probably hurt.
Yeah. But it hurt worse looking at it. So, like, when I was, like, sitting in, like, the waiting room in the like, because my wife wheeled me in a wheelchair because it hurt to walk on it,
I'm
and
picturing like this toe, like you're elevated and then the toe's just wrapped up like a giant toe turban. Like,
I did have her put, like, a towel over it. I was like,
yeah.
"Can you just, like, cover it so I don't have to look at it?" Because that was really yeah. Well, you know that, like, your fingernails and toenails are wider than, like, what you see, and especially, like, up at the top, so they, like, taper
Right.
down as
Mhm.
they come out,
I'm
so
all
yeah.
looking at my nails right now. Mhm.
So, I got to see a lot more of my toenail than most people get to see.
Okay. But you didn't faint, did you?
No. No.
All right. Well, you made it then. Can we all agree something does not work? It does not work. You were fully right.
Simping never works.
Nope, 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 nope.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. You run up rocks, not crawl. Oof.
I mean, depending on the angle.
Mm.
Like how many degrees of incline are we talking here?
We learned from playing DayZ that if you run at an angle, you won't break your leg.
Yeah.
So clearly
Especially
that
like
works in real life.
the running down is really where you got to watch for the broken legs. Um Switchbacks
Right.
or zigzags
Yeah. I used to
as
go
they're called
rock
in other
climbing back
places.
when I was a healthy young specimen, and when we were in college, the college guys that we were rock climbing with were, I don't know, they just took unnecessary risks in my opinion. And this was before I'm so old. I'm 42. I'm so old that we didn't have a cell phone on our rock climbing trips. So we
Oh,
had pagers.
and this was like without
Mhm.
safety harness type situation,
No,
unnecessary risk.
no, we had climbing equipment. The problem is they would do extra things that were jackassery, and I'd be like, "It's on you," and then of course somebody would end up getting hurt. And so one of the guys was like, "I don't need any switchback," and we were rock climbing, and the way that these particular rocks happen is like there's a switchback. You go on this big giant hike on the top of the hill, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, let me climb these rocks." And they're like, sport climbing about 30 feet or so, and so you're on belay, and it's all like safe and good. But then like a lot of times we cut it close and like the sun's getting down low or whatever, and we're like, okay, we got to make it back. And one of the guys thought switchbacks, who needs them, and just started running down the hill. And I was like, don't stop. And I was like, Willy Wonka, don't stop. You don't, don't do it. And of course, they're 19-year-olds. They're gonna do what they want. And he's really healthy, and he's 6 foot, rock climbing body, really well built, very handsome man. He's running down the hill, and all of a sudden his knee goes the wrong way, and he snaps his knee, and he's just like crying like a baby on the ground. And now we're looking down, going, "Oh shit, how do we get down to him?" Because I don't want him to do that to my knee.
I've done that to my knee
Unnecessary
before.
risk.
Not running down a hill, but playing football. And like, oh, when you said that, it was like,
I have a torn meniscus right now because I'm fat now. That's
I
really
did
why.
that.
and things that I once could do, like I'm paying a penalty for. So anyway, I have a knee brace on currently right now, and knees suck. So anyway, I'm gonna stop with that and get back to Reds. Can you tell that I don't like
Beamer.
Reds? Can you just tell?
Beamer.
Back to Beamer. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the audacity of
So
asking for money.
fun little 10-second side story.
Okay.
At a place where I used to live, I had a roommate who was awesome. He was, I think, 3 when I moved in and 6 or 7 when I moved out. He was awesome. And his very first 2-syllable word was Beamer. That kid loved cars.
Was there like a family Beamer in the house, or
No, he just loved cars. Like his dad drove an MR2 and like he could tell, like I drove a Toyota Corolla and our other roommate drove a Toyota Camry and he could tell the difference between them. They're the same color. Like this kid just loved cars.
Okay, that's interesting. My nephew was excited that we had a Jeep, but he thought it was a truck. And so he'd go, truck, 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 truck. And they'd be like, monster truck, because it's raised. And so like they're like, yeah, monster truck. I was like, sure, it's a monster truck.
We call mine big truck, big truck, big truck.
Exactly. Big truck. Like a rock. Okay.
Kids
Fuck
love it. Yeah.
You like holy. So to recap, Steve never agreed to pay you anything for your PR work, and secondly, you don't pull this kind of shit on a friend. So on principle, eat a dick. But with that, we move on to the
Also,
next issue.
she did all
What
the
was-
PR work assuming that she was going to be fucking 50-50 partner.
Yeah. I don't
Sorry.
think anybody
Sorry.
thought, I don't think anybody thought she was a contractor. They thought she sucked, but and was pretty evil and malicious. But I don't think anybody thought she was a contractor.
Also, like if they were gonna like contract work with her, then like why wasn't she paid for the work that she,
She did bring that up in the meeting. If I'm a contractor, then okay, then this is what you owe me. And I thought that was fair enough. Like if you're gonna play that switcheroo, you're not actually my partner. You're a contractor. Well, then you fucking pay them. Seems logical to me.
Right.
I don't know.
like okay, if you're trying to say I'm not a partner, then fucking pay me.
actually
Aw.
discussed? And was the deal Chesh ended up with a fair deal? So let's start with caffeine.
Didn't he offer her $37.90? I feel like that's what he said he owed her, $37.94. Now let's start with Caffeine Corner, which I always viewed as her show more than his.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Corner. Cheshire agreed to do Caffeine Corner under a fixed percentage, and for her time on the show, she was indeed paid out in full. We have receipts for that just in case. This was done on a per episode
Just in
basis.
case.
And since Cheshire was part of the show for over 60 fucking episodes, one can safely assume that she was happy with the
Pause it real
compensation she
quick.
was receiving. And during my many conversations with her,
Did it really
Was
go
it?
to 60 episodes?
He's saying like we have receipts for that just in case. Shouldn't you have receipts for that, like i.e. for your taxes? Like
Taxes, what are those?
if you're like somebody who got paid out for that, they're like should not like you should have receipts for that, like just on principle. Hey, Dr. Cross. Dr. Cross is in the chat.
Hi, Steve McRae. Trolls. Now I see why I left these people long ago.
Oh, Steve McRae's in the chat. Hi, Steve McRae.
Not really Steve McRae, but that's what he would say. Dr. Cross. All right, let's see here. And then Negative says they have never shown real receipts ever. Ooh, that's some pretty strong words from Negative, because Negative's taken a more middle ground approach about it. So that's a pretty strong thing to say. Since Steve was the one, oh, hold on, I have to reread this. Since Steve was the one on the show, Steb was the one on the show for a bunch of episodes. He should have been fine with the arrangement Kyle had with him, right?
Right? Yeah.
I'd rather look at the books, right?
It's fine. They were doing it for over a year. It's fine.
I mean,
It's
it was the arrangement was just give me a pile of money in person when
In
you feel like
person?
it. Nothing
Gold
wrong with
coins
that.
preferred.
Speaking of piles of money, did you all see what Steve did to?
Can you get it in Chuck E. Cheese coins though?
Did you all
stuff?
see what Steve did to the bad Nikki? And by bad Nikki, I don't really mean Nikki Daly. I accidentally called Nikki Daly bad Nikki when I thought Nikki Daly was Nikki Serrated Kiss. And I meant Serrated Kiss, but Serrated Kiss hadn't been around for a while. So then Serrated Kiss got hit up on Twitter, and then she had a clapback. And then Steve went all bonkers about something about, you don't care about my suicidal friend and the pile of money that you're supposed to give to him, and like this weird stuff that was happening. And it was something about a pile of money being delivered or to some rando that who knows what. And I was just like, what did I? And then he pasted the person's DMs to her, and we were like, what? It was the weirdest thing I've seen in a long time, and I don't know what to say, but this whole pile of money, bringing it in person thing is not usually a good sign.
Yeah.
If somebody says, "No, don't Venmo me. No, don't Cash App me. No, don't Zelle me. No, 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 no. Just
Meet me at a
bring me up.
Taco Bell.
Meet me at a Taco Bell parking lot." And over our dollar drinks, we're going to exchange bags. Mine will be empty and yours will be full of money. Like, what?
Are they they're like texting back and forth pictures of like the briefcase to make sure that it like
Let's make sure it
You know,
matches.
yeah.
Okay, I got mine from Marshall's. My Marshall's doesn't have that one. Crud. Let's try Ross Dress for Less instead. Because you know he's not. Kids. Like, what is he gonna do? Right? The guy's poor. He's not gonna spend a lot of money.
I'm dying. I'm dying.
Let's go to Tuesdays. And they got the little roll on. Oh, my roller's not working. Somebody has like
Okay, fine. We'll go to Kohl's. Sorry.
And then they're like, go for the cheapest bag they can find, and it's the one with the drawstring that says Adidas. They're like, okay, yours says Nike, mine says Adidas, no problem.
Whatever.
No one will notice. It's fine. It's Taco
Close
Bell.
enough.
People that go to Taco Bell are high anyway. It's fine.
Well, there was that Baja Blast heist.
Yeah, Baja Blasts can ruin marriages. Okay, so there was an incident where he was yelling at Nikki, not Nikki Daly, but the other bad Nikki, which is formerly repressed whore Serrated Kiss Nikki, and I only call her that because that's what she calls herself. I feel like I'm a slut shamer already out the gate.
Just gonna throw that in there.
But I am kind of gonna slut shame her because she did say to Steve on the live air that I watched her, and she's like, "Oh, Steve, I could give you a blowjob for like 3 hours while you play video games," and I went, "Ah!" That sounded real. Oh my god, did you really
It really was. I was not expecting that. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Someone's gonna clip
I'm fine.
this. Someone's gonna clip this and just be like, you ugh. I'm just gonna have it as a sound effect. Oh my god. Hang on, I'm gonna die.
I'm sorry. It was just like I was not expecting it, and it just ooh. I'll be okay. I think I killed Spackle though. Feel bad. Spackle, come back. There she is.
Okay, I'm just crying. It's fine. I've never seen
Okay.
you. Okay, I didn't mean to actually make you throw up. So anyway,
It's just like I'm fine. I just just a little. It wasn't even like it was just a little, when you get a little in the back of your throat. It's fine. On with Reds.
all right. Back to
Reds.
okay. All right, continue. Continuing Reds.
She never said she was unhappy with her time on Caffeine Corner. If anything, she would bend over backwards to not miss it. And she confirmed with me, multiple times in fact, that she was in fact getting paid for it. The reason why I bring this up is simple. If she considers her time on Caffeine Corner as PR work, it is important to note that she agreed with the deal that she was given. Compensation was actually discussed for Caffeine Corner, and she did receive it. If she had any issues with the amount that she was getting paid, she could have bounced out of the show and out of Steve's life at any time, but she didn't. She stayed.
Right. And
So what
Steve
does
could
that
have
tell you?
bounced out of
Based on her
Non Sequitur
actions,
show whenever Kyle was fucking him over at any time too.
Oh man.
Sorry, I was just going back to the.
So he's saying that based on her sticking around, like yeah, it's completely logical. It's like what you just said.
I mean, it's like the only time when that like makes sense is like in landlord tenant law, where like the tenant can say, "Look, I've been paying you $20 a week for like the past 8 weeks and you've been accepting that." And you can't go back now and say, "Well, actually you owe me for 2 months worth of rent."
Right. So if like Rev and Shani had done partial payments on rent, they could have dragged out their lease further instead of just running away. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah.
As long as that guy takes some of it. Yeah.
Right, as long as they're accepting, because that shows, okay, that landlord was accepting, okay, $20 a week or whatever. They were letting you stay there for that. But like again, she's not like it wasn't like she was getting like $2 or $3 here and there. Oh, here's $10, here's whatever for like the stuff that she was doing. And then it's saying, well, oh, well, obviously she was fine with that because she's fine with getting paid peanuts because look, we were paying her peanuts and she's fine with that.
Yeah. I mean, Steve was fine with not looking at the books, not doing the work, and
Well, yeah.
hoping
so-
that someday he'd have a pile of money at the end of the rainbow given to him.
Right.
A leprechaun.
Right. So, like, why wouldn't she be fine with, like, not looking at the books and
Yeah.
just, like, of course.
I mean, if his argument is silence is misconstrued as consent, it can be from fucking morons and dishonest people. Yeah. Yeah, but usually that's not a good sign, Reds.
alone, she agreed that it was a fair deal. And based on my conversations with her, she also agreed it was a fair deal. So for Caffeine Corner, no issue, job done. In regards to the Non Sequitur show, this is where shit gets good. Upon Kyle returning the channel to Steve because, you know, Chesh would be co-host, entitled to 50% of the profits. I would mostly be in the background, and I would take no cut from the profits. However, I would maintain my influence and aid in the decision-making process whenever I felt it was needed. This was perfectly fine with Chesh, and it was understood by all parties that the details would be hammered out upon the channel's return. But right at the start of this, she did have some guarantees, most notably regarding her 50% cut. If Cheshire wanted something more, like actual fucking ownership, and we'll get back to that in a moment, she could have told Steve before doing any work on Nonsec. The fact that she went ahead and did a few episodes without Steve signing on the dotted line is on her. But let's be fair here. I think Steve fucked up here as well, because I do not think it was a good idea to start the show back up without signatures being collected and filed. At the very least, Steve should have not have allowed Cheshire.
The first thing that he has said that made any sense is that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, like none of them should have been working without a freaking contract. But like he even said earlier, like, oh, well, like there was this gentleman's agreement and like,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, is the gentleman's agreement something that we're honoring or are we just like pretending that it didn't happen?
Pretending like it didn't happen.
Seems like it, I guess.
To appear on Nonsec until negotiations were completed. But I'm sure Steve denying Chesh's appearance would have caused a different shit show entirely. So, But I'm getting a little ahead here. So back on topic. Despite no
Okay, so
official
like that's
contract
how
being
he like
made,
defends
Cheshire
Steve when
was
he
never
there's like
denied her
not anything to
50%
defend.
cut. So
Like,
while a little
like that's your defense is like, eh?
Dot, 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 dot. I mean, that's how Cheshire talks too. She's like, and you
What's
fill in
here?
your blank, whatever.
This one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That one. You know, I have a Cheshire picture too. Where's my Cheshire picture? I have one. I feel
She
left
does
out.
do this a lot, though. You're right.
Yeah. She also goes bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. I love it. It's like the thing is, here's the thing is that she does have a really nice microphone. She just has like I guess a not great stand for it or doesn't stay mindful of it or I don't know what.
Yeah, she brings the boom, literally.
Yes. Yeah, like into my ear holes like yeah.
Reckless on her part. She knew Steve would pay her because she knows that Steve is not a dishonest piece of shit. Imagine that.
Does she know?
Wait,
But
wait,
at the end of the day,
wait.
he was willing to work with
I'm sorry. I know that was only 2 seconds, but like how does she know that Steve is going to pay her?
If
Steve
anything,
hasn't
she
paid
knows
her.
completely the opposite.
Right?
She knows he's a bad person. She knows it. That's why she's there, because she also is a bad person.
All right. Sorry.
her and make that contract a reality. In fact, a good motherfucker named Chris took the initiative and wrote up a draft contract that practically gave Cheshire everything she could ask for and more. In fact,
this
it's so
before or
worth going
after?
down the list, so let's do that. Number 1, Cheshire would be entitled to 50% of the profits from the non sequitur show.
Okay, Cheshire would be entitled 50% of the profits from the non sequitur show. This would.
Is
Wait a
this
minute.
was this before or after?
Right. Well, and he said our good friend Chris. Does he mean Chris Atlee? The mediator that
Jatrice?
was supposed to be neutral?
I think that's what Jatrice is saying.
Is
Jay
it-
Tyrese. Sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing that. Sorry, please
James,
let me know.
James, is that Chris Atlee that wrote that? Because it's interesting. I mean, is it the mediator's job to write
Yeah,
deals?
it is all over about $100, a little over $100, I think. As far as like, well, I thought it was like $130.
Right,
but
right.
It might be like $110 Canadian.
Yeah.
Show. This would formally start on Cheshire's first appearance as a co-host. Number 2, Cheshire would keep her position as a co-host for a guaranteed 12 months. Only she can terminate her relationship with the non sequitur show before the 12 months is up. I'm assuming as long as she doesn't start promoting the Westboro Baptist Church or some crazy shit like that. Number 3, if
I
the
don't know.
relationship
Is
between
that in
Cheshire
there? Do we have that in the footnotes? Do we have a clause for that? Because if you don't have a clause for that, then she
Yeah.
can actually go out and promote Westboro Baptist Church and still get fucking paid.
What if Cheshire finds Jesus and she's a co-host of the non sequitur show and it's a secular show and she finds Jesus and she becomes a Veckel 2.0?
You never know. I might find Jesus.
And then what? Is there a clause for that? You found Jesus, you need to leave. What happens? Like, I also want to know what happens on Jimmy Snow too. If somebody finds Jesus on the call or the line or whatever, what happens then? We're not inviting that person back.
I mean, yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder if there is a clause.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I mean, Steve only likes the coddle atheists that benefit him, or theists that benefit him.
and the show is terminated, she can still get her half of the residuals for a period of time equivalent to her time as co-host. So if she was on non-sec for a year, she would get residuals from the shows that she was on for a year after that. And given what we said about her guaranteed position for 12 months, assuming she doesn't leave on her own, she would be starting with guaranteed payments for 2 years at least.
Is this the same agreement? And maybe someone can tell me in chat that has seen the agreements. Is this the same agreement that was also the trash agreement that Cheshire linked? I believe it's Cheshire that linked it, where there were all these rules about what she can and cannot do on other shows.
Oh, yeah.
Or is this separate? Is this before or after that piece of crap? I'm curious. Like, if anyone knows, let me know.
Yeah.
Number 4, Steve agrees to pay Cheshire the residuals for shows prior to her formally being involved in the
Meg says
non-sequitur
yes, it
show.
is.
Yeah,
once
he's
these
leaving
residuals
stuff out
covered
then.
the $5,000 legal fees. This was later reduced in Cheshire's favor to only $2,500. Damn. Number 5, Cheshire is free to do other projects.
Okay. So it is the same first piece of crap that we saw with Red's spin on it. So Red's is making it more reasonable sounding, but
By
there
leaving shit out.
but you can read the paper for yourself, and once I find that link, I'll put it in the link here. But yeah, interesting. So this is Red's version of it. So Red's cleaned this up a little bit.
So when he's saying, assuming that she doesn't find Jesus and like convert to Westboro Baptist Church or whatever, there is a fucking clause in there for that. It's not just assuming.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Negative says he's gonna DM it real quick. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see without his spin, because I remember it being a little bit weird.
I want to
All right.
see it.
While I'm waiting for that, I will just play the rest here.
Whether
Titan
that
wants
to work
to
on her
know
own
if
channel or work with
it
other
covers a no opening wine bottles on stream clause.
shows. All that is required is that she
Don't
show
argue
up
with
and not
Steve on
engage in any activity
stream.
that could fuck over non-sec. Number 6,
That's
Cheshire gets to
probably
see
an
the
important
financials
one.
point blank. And number
Cheshire gets to see the financials. They threw that in because Steve.
7, she can walk away at any time and it will not impact her residuals.
Also,
Oh,
why
holy
does
shit,
there
that
have
was a
to
bitchin'
be
deal.
a numbered line that says you can see the financials? Like, well, duh, you're entering into this contract that's contingent upon these financials.
You will be able to see the financials. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, that's like being like, well, you will be able to see the inside of your bedroom every morning when you wake up. Like, well, good. I don't need you to grant me that. Like, I already had that.
Well, what's weird is like most of the time when you work for a company or even a small business, you know enough about the financials to know the status of the company, or literally every place I've worked, I've known enough about the company to know where the financial status is. I might not know all the nitty-gritty of the finances, but at least know what they're bringing in, who's getting paid what. Like, these are things that I've known.
Yeah. So a better metaphor would be like if somebody was like, you will get to see the hours that you worked on your paycheck.
Oh, joy. Thank you. Thank you, great benefactor. Like, wow.
Celebration. Yeah. Okay.
Are we almost done? I hate him so much.
We're
Okay.
almost done, I think.
especially
This
the
is
part
where
where
I
she
started
couldn't get
nodding
drugged by
off when I
Steve for
was
a whole
watching
year
by
and could
myself.
look forward to residuals from episodes that she had fuck all to do with.
Fuck off!
Yet even with all of this and the fact that she had the opportunity to negotiate for even more shit in her favor, she rejected everything outright. Well, fine, I guess.
She did reject everything outright. She knew she was screwed, so she was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I have to ignore the fact that this was a sweet offer, and I won't. At this point, it's an established fact that Cheshire got a damn good deal with this.
Reds is an expert at deals, okay? She could have had all
Okay.
the Big Macs, all the Burger Kings. Instead, she fucked it up.
Considering that between the two of them, Cheshire would be the only
McDonald's.
one making money for a number of months. Steve, on the other hand, would be looking forward to the day that he can say, well, at
Chicken
least I broke
nuggets.
even. But Steve wasn't going to complain. That's what it means to be an owner sometimes. And speaking of which, this leads us to the next issue. She wanted to be considered an owner in some way. After looking over the facts, I can't figure out in what sense Cheshire wanted to be an owner. Are we talking by title only, or are we talking about making that
Just right now, I want to know what Reds is. I want to know what Reds is. Is Reds an owner? Is
He's
Reds a partner?
2% owner.
Is he a
2% partner.
contractor? What is it in for Red? Because something's in it for Red. It's not just his friend. There's something's in it for Reds. What is it?
Here's like in my mind what it is, but it's probably not accurate to like anybody. But like in my mind, what it should be, right, is that the channel is owned by a corporation that consists of what it would be Steve owning 49%, Chesh owning 49%, and a third partner, I guess Reds owning 2%.
All right, we're gonna pause Reds because
That's what it should be.
we're gonna pause Reds real quick, and I'm gonna move it over to this here that was sent to me. So I can do it. Ooh, I can add slides now. Ooh.
Hello.
All right, let's see here. Ooh, an extra camera even? Oh, they added stuff to StreamYard. That's cool. All right, anyway, I digress.
There's stuff
Share.
added to StreamYard?
Yeah, I'll have to look at it again. I'll have to play with it.
Yeah.
Right, stop screen. Share. Share screen. Oh my god, my banking info. Just kidding. Window. Window. I think that's the one I want. There we go. All right, can
You
anybody
can
read
pull a
that?
trash and be like, well, there's my legal shit, but like, whatever.
Oh, I'm out of order here. I started at 9. We'll just start at 9 for now. All
That's
right.
good.
All right. Can you all read that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to go big screen.
What do
so
you
I have
guys
to
make
stay
of
on this.
these?
I
So
can't be
number
pressed higher.
9, Steve agrees to not incur any unreasonable expenses that would affect Victoria's profit split.
Wait. Are they referring to her? They're referring to them by first name in a legal document.
Yes.
Mm.
She's thinking. I mean,
Oh well. There we go. So let me just ask the obvious question. Okay. Does this smack of somebody who has no idea what a legal document should be, or is this the implication? Maybe.
look, they didn't know if they needed to spell Klein with a K or C. Okay, so they just said
Oh my God.
Victoria's.
There you go. You normally put it at the top, don't you?
Go
They-
look at
if
her
you're going to use a
stream, it'll-
shorthand, you put that at the top. You say such and such. Who shall there be known as
Exactly.
Yeah. 62 IQ or whatever the
Well,
shorthand
to
might
be
be.
fair, I did start at number 9 because like of the order.
Yeah, we'll have
that
to
I
go
got
back
it.
and see number
Yeah.
1. Maybe they say here too as referred to here
Right.
to further referred to as. Yeah.
Right.
That's that bitch.
All right.
Anyway.
That's me.
No, don't be
Yeah.
silly.
That bitch. Oh,
Don't be silly.
that's
Okay.
that's what Godless Girl calls me. That bitch. That cunt. I hate her. And then she chants roast beef cunt because I'm like,
Oh,
oh
she's another one. She's
Yep,
another one. The good graces of lobster.
no. Oh God. You haven't
Anyway.
seen nothing yet. Anyway. I
Yeah,
feel like
some of these
her and
were
Roadhog
really
should do battle.
Any
okay.
unreasonable expenses that would affect
Victoria's
like-
profit split. Firstly, I think it's like just it's only in there to highlight that originally he meant profit split. Right?
But, like-
Remember the profit split? That's all I was referring to. So I think that's in there for that reason. Secondly,
Also,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No. Go ahead.
He like violate this by like spending however much on fucking legal fees and saying that was coming out of quote unquote channel expenses?
That was a very confusing moment for me because not only that, okay, he got it through a GoFundMe, which Victoria was involved in setting up and also was on stream and asking people for money. So it does seem that if they did a GoFundMe to get the money to do that, then that probably wasn't going to be Steve's money alone. Although I understand there's some confusion about what the GoFundMe was for, because they change the wording several times.
Yes.
They did.
So they had to
which is
change the wording
also
a lot.
why Manya has since, I believe, retracted her. She has stated that she did not believe that it was going to the things that she said that it was going to, and they have refunded her money.
Ah,
Which
that's interesting.
Steve is like claiming is fraud, but I don't think legally it is fraud if she doesn't believe that the money was going towards what she thought it was going towards.
No, and if they've already given her the money back, and 9/10 of the law, presumably they've already said, well, if you don't think so, then we'll just give you your money back because that seems fair, you know. Well, that does seem fair, actually. The other thing I'd just say is promises, agrees not to incur any unreasonable expense. So, you know, who's judging what's unreasonable, first of all? And are they willing to negotiate? And I use the negotiate with a capital N and an A, okay? Just to say that all of the negotiations, and I say negotiations, I'm laughing on the inside when I use that word because the one thing I didn't hear at any point was two people negotiating. Okay, I heard one person trying to negotiate, and I heard another person laughing or just refusing to negotiate. So I think this is where most of my humor comes from, because even in the tweet, which you may or may not have read out by now, he still says, I was trying to negotiate. I was willing to negotiate, when I never heard any such thing happening. So, yeah, if
There's no
his
meeting of
idea
the
of
minds here. There's no meetings of the minds.
no meeting of the minds, which is, let's face it, that's what happened.
How do we
Oh,
extricate? How do we extricate?
yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
not negotiation. And if that's his definition of negotiation, then I hate to think what his definition of unreasonable is, because I don't think there is anything which is not unreasonable.
I think it's fair
I
to
mean,
say
I
they
do think
were
both parties.
unreasonable.
I think both parties were unreasonable, and both parties eventually gave up on negotiating.
Well,
Vic-
I didn't.
Vic, wait.
Go ahead.
Victoria needs to provide an invoice to Steve each month because Steve doesn't keep track of fuck all. That's why.
Just say that.
Just add that note there.
But no, I
mean-
didn't. I thought like Victoria did try to negotiate, and she started to go high in order to bargain lower,
Probably.
right? And that's
Or-
what got
or to make him freak out.
And that, yeah, well, it didn't. I didn't take it as, oh, let's freak out because I've been given a high number. That's what happens in negotiations, right? It's called haggling, right? Life of Brian. Haggle. Oh, at least he didn't get the insulting his mum or whatever. But the point being that, she started high, unreasonably high, according to many people. And that's fine. But he could have started low. He could have said, well, I'll give you $1. You know what I mean? Okay, there you go. I'll buy you a lobster roll.
I remember at one point he said he owed her $39.99 or something like that, or $37.90 or something. This is
Right.
what's left over that I owe you, and that's like, what?
Yeah, there you go.
This is your
Start
cut of the
there.
AdSense, $39, and I thought it was really funny.
But for him to then just turn around and say, "Oh, you've given out a number which is far too high, therefore I'm not even going to negotiate with you," just seems the height of like not actually realizing what the word negotiation means. So again, let's have a definition out there for negotiation. That's what I'm saying.
It has from chess, well, from the camp of, I don't even know if it's Cheshire's camp, but more Cheshire than Steve's camp. It has leaked out that she was trying to basically, I don't know how I would say this, rock the boat and get everybody excited and get Steve excited, and then take all Steve's people.
Yeah, that's bullshit though. That is fucking bullshit right there. Because
But it worked.
no, I don't think it did work. I don't think it did work. Right? Because
She's got Rez. She's got Manya.
She's got Reds. Did you say?
Rez, R-E-Z, Manya.
Oh yeah.
EMP.
Those
they're
people.
They're all his cash cows. His cash cows.
For sure. And I don't think that was going to go any other way. But my point here is that I think only because they're simps, they're cash cow simps. Right. So they were only giving to Steve because of Jesh anyway. So they always would have gone that route, presumably. Especially Manya, absolutely. But again, the point I just want to make is that what she didn't do was destroy Steve. She just took what was hers, and that would be my point. I mean, she could have just started publishing the dirt on Steve. Oh look, this is where he said this wrong. This is where he said this wrong. Oh look, I've got something saying, oh, these people are getting too close on the Dave Warden thing, or here's a video of me saying it's 50-50 and you agreeing that we're equal partners. Right? All of this stuff could have come out quite easily, right? And she could have just said, "Oh no, I'm not gonna leak anything. I'm not gonna leak anything," just like they did with Takal, right? No, I'm not recording this.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? All of that could have been done exactly the way Steve did it. So, if anything, she was a little too generous, in my opinion. But then, 62 IQ, as Drag always says, just coming through to show everybody the true colors.
Well, I think what's fascinating is there's a lot of warning signs. Don't step here with Steve, like in a lot of stories and a lot of history, right? And you see that he ramps up and you see how it gets worse and worse and worse. And so like there's that big like this is an issue. This is an issue. And they're like, no, 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 I got this. This is fine. And I'm fascinated that Chess thought she was just so clever that she wouldn't get janked. Is that a word I can use? I don't even know. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know what
Yeah.
I don't even know where it comes from. so if it actually means something, I'm sorry. But like that she would get like the hose. Like well, that's probably a bad word too. Well, she would get she would get the low straw. No, that might be bad. I don't know what to say. But she's not going to get the good deal. You know. So,
Yeah. I mean, she must have tried to push for Steve to get a written agreement. I mean, that must have been there, but of course, Steve is never going to agree to that
I
because
was wondering if that was what had spurred all of this.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what you mean by
It's like-
spurred, but
Like
the
saying,
payment
like,
time
let's
came round, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's do the paperwork. Let's get all of this like official. Where's the fucking paperwork? And then they couldn't agree to like
Get the paperwork, yeah.
right.
Yeah, that could well be it. Again, I'm just amazed that more dirt hasn't come out on McRae by Cheshire. I'm amazed by that.
I think there's something that she's afraid of on her end because that's how cults work, right? So, like, for instance, I am somebody when I was young and naive,
Cult with
I
a
was-
U, not
I was a
Colt
home
45.
cult with a U. Yeah. Who in the world owns a cult? Anyway. Anyway.
Just took me a second.
When I was young and I was 19 and fresh out of being a homeschooled kid, sheltered kid, and church kid,
A cult.
I cannot. I have some stories. Yes, I was prime for cults recruitment. I'm telling you, I have been approached by so many cults. You have no idea. I have been approached by Church of Christ, which is a cult, is like especially in the late 90s and early 2000s here. Jehovah's Witnesses like crazy. Like I'm like, get off me. Like I don't know what's wrong with Jehovah's Witnesses, but they really want me. And Scientology and like all the cults, right? All
I
the
would
cults.
maybe be susceptible to Scientology. I've like looked into like some of their recruiting shit and I'm like, yeah, like that would have maybe got me
Right.
before I realized what cult tactics were.
But one thing that cults do that's really overt is Church of Christ will give an example. Church of Christ will go, we'll get you set up with a discipler. And that discipler you're going to meet with, and he's going to spur you on for spiritual growth. You're going to confess everything to your discipler. You're going to hand over
Mormons
like all
do this too.
visibility of your finances, all visibility of everything, and you're going to confess your worst sin to them, and they're going to, you know, like, and they're going to like not necessarily grant you
Absolve you
abolition
of it.
but
yeah,
they're going to help you spiritually grow past that and hold you accountable. And that was a red flag for me. I was like,
they do that in the 12 steps too. And people are like, oh, 12 steps aren't culty. And I'm like, wait till you like do the 12 steps and tell me it isn't culty.
Yeah. And then, you know, Scientology has this thing called auditing, right? Tell us the worst thing you've ever done, the thing that you're most ashamed of, or have you ever broken the law? And they'll find something on you. Something makes me wonder, is there something that they have on Chess that keeps her from releasing what she has on Steve? I'm just saying.
Something
What-
that came up in that ninth
Well,
step. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are only a few things that I can think of. Firstly, the nudes, but is that really going to stop her doing it? I wouldn't have thought so. Secondly,
I don't
because
even know what's true or not. That's
gonna get
that's
out
a
there.
rumor. That's a
Well,
rumor.
by nudes,
Yeah.
I mean the bikini shots, which I'm pretty sure are out there, but I've never seen
Those
any.
I don't count as nudes, but also like
Yeah,
yeah,
but still,
I have
if they're not
like,
out there,
so,
you wouldn't want them, especially if they're
Right.
badly done. Which,
It's
let's
a rumor,
face it,
right?
let's
Yeah.
face it,
I have
they-
to qualify
it's
that
like-
since Simos put that out there.
yeah, it's likely to be the case that they are badly done, given the freaks and fucking perverts that are involved in that cult. But anyway, just to put that out there, and then thirdly, there's the other thing with the potential, romance that may have happened with a certain.
It's been confirmed.
That's confirmed.
No, you're not. A certain four-legged friend, shall we say?
Oh
I'm sorry, just to get those jokes out there.
no.
Go,
Like, let's.
go ahead.
I feel like we need to qualify everybody watching. That was a fucking joke. Simos was fucking joking. I would not be on a panel with somebody who was actually like putting that kind of shit out there. You to make me like kick you down there. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know it was too funny
right.
not to put in there though.
Simos
Just too
is gonna
funny.
be going live on his channel to say all this shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what the
God damn.
fuck?
No. I'm not saying they were either nudes or there were animals involved. No, I'm not saying either of those things. Okay, moving on to this document though. Sorry. I'm having a laugh. I'm sorry, it's a joke.
I'm like, I'm gonna lose my channel.
This is why people do the 30-second delay, Simos. This is why people do it. It's because the guests like you.
All right, he made a
Okay.
joke. Well, no, Serb's worse. Serb's worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually got the joke from Serb, so that's fair enough, you know.
Of course you did. Oh my goodness. Every time something
Sounds
edgy
accurate.
is said, where I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna go down for this.
Sounds
Serb.
accurate.
Anyway,
All right.
moving on, like because that's just for laughs.
Ugh.
I don't understand why she didn't, and I think she should.
I'm
really,
just
'cause,
distracting you.
She's been badly treated in my views.
It didn't work a second time, Mark.
Okay.
Are
Can we
we-
go back to the document then? Is that because
Yes.
there was
Yeah.
another line just up ahead. The example
Right.
I
Right,
thought
yeah.
of Steve on number 9 was quite funny.
Also, I noticed that these are some of them are the numbered items that Red's put in his video. However, the numbers are not the same. Like, he altered the numbers to like make it look like that was the entire document that he was showing.
Right. So I had a question. Like, is this the same document or is it different? Because what he's describing looks a bit different than what we saw.
It looks like somebody took this and made like a
He did better.
abbreviated version.
Red's Rhetoric's like, oh my gosh, how do I spin this like a bad
Exactly.
salesperson?
Yeah.
So what you need is
Maybe.
that extra coating on your car, man. The extra coating, you need to purchase it. It's just $300, man. Like, he's just gonna adding extra things, and you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna notice.
Okay,
Yeah.
like I knew a detailer though, and like they explained that extra coating and like $300 is a little high, but all right, go ahead.
Like I'm gonna cut
And
you
you
a
think
deal.
my jokes are
I'm gonna
risky?
I'm gonna cut you a deal. I'm gonna give it to you for $250. Okay. Don't tell anybody though. I could lose my job.
I wouldn't pay over $150 for it. Like maybe $200 including application.
Right.
Okay, so just to get back to number 9 then. So Steve occurs not to agree any unreasonable, e.g., spending the entire income on 62 IQs, invalid and unreasonable marketing expenses. Just to point that out, okay? I mean, I'm just saying all of this number 9 just reels as a butthurt person.
So what you're saying is that like that invalidates all of what Cheshire's saying about like, okay, you owe me 60 grand for fucking
Yeah.
marketing because
Yeah.
like
Because it would be unreasonable. Steve would never do that. He would never agree to that kind of thing, you know, because it would be unreasonable to spend that entire income on marketing expenses.
but nobody signed this. That's the thing is that
It-
would be like
It was never meant to be signed, obviously. This was Steve's master plan. You know, this was a thing to say, look, I look really fucking reasonable because I am prepared to negotiate. Here's my piece of negotiation paper. So there we go. What does he say? Drag says, so what is unreasonable is solely defined by Steve. Correct. Exactly,
Yes.
Craig. Exactly. Of course it is. Because
yeah, if
he's
Steve
still
wants to do it, then it's reasonable.
he says 100% ownership, right? All the ideas, all the decisions will be taken by the man. Okay.
I think though, like it's not all decided by Steve. I think that it's been very clear that there's somebody in the shadows that is helping make decisions. And that might be Red's Rhetoric.
Well, this is another weird thing, okay? Because he's mentioned several times, and Chesh mentioned that Reds might have the deciding vote if the two of them disagreed on something.
Right.
Now, presumably that was because it was somebody that at the time they both trusted, and Reds and she thought, well, hello, look, I'm in with Reds. He's never going to go against me if he wants the poontang. So therefore, it's a good bet to make it this way. However, I would also say that I heard Steve on another, I don't know, one of his ranting hangouts, talk about inviting the atheist pastor guy, Chris Attlee, I think, to also become a part owner of the non-sequitur show.
I remember that. Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that, and her face dropped.
Yeah.
In fact, I've shown that clip before. Yep.
And I'm just gonna say this. Don't ever make like a gentleman's agreement with somebody that has seen your genitals. I'm sorry. Like that's like no. Like once they have seen your genitals, like it needs to be a written contract.
Okay, that speaks the voice of experience, obviously. Our legal expert, Savage Minnow.
No, I'm not a legal expert. Don't say that.
I said our legal expert. I didn't say you were a legal expert.
No.
I'm using Steve tactics here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But there you go. So again, if you've seen somebody's genitals, especially if you've got a picture of them, always get a written form, fill it out.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Sign
So
a
the
legal
simple is
contract.
mediating is now going to be part of the entire enterprise. Well, it's just something I heard Steve offering to Attlee at one point, because obviously he values Attlee, for whatever reason. I don't know why. He's funny, maybe.
Do
I
you
don't
think Attlee's going to be the next stand for Kyle? Kyle.
know.
So that's
I do
what
actually.
I
Yeah,
thought. That's
I do.
who I thought, because there is this thing of like, I want to be fair to Chris, and he made that comment, and there's a whole like splice of that, and I'm gonna have to dig for it. I don't remember where it is. It's probably on Menace's channel separate, I bet, somewhere. But he says, I will have to be fair to Chris, and her face just drops. Like it just like, whoa.
Yeah.
So when they brought Chris Attlee forward and said, he does this for a living, this is what he does, he's just completely neutral, he's a mediator, I'm like, the fuck he is. Like, oh my God.
He's definitely not neutral in the situation.
Yeah, well, there was
No.
another thing. Like, wasn't
I
it
don't
implied?
understand.
Was it not implied that Chris Attlee was Red's choice?
Yeah.
Now, that's not what I thought when I first heard it. What I thought was Steve said, "Oh, let's get Chris Attlee in," and then Reds just went, "Well, yeah, all right." Right? As if like, okay, so it was Steve's choice to get him in, and then Reds just said, and then not Reds, 62 IQ said, yeah, okay, whatever, whoever, I don't care, let's just do it, because
Yeah.
right now you're stalling and you're not mediating at all. So any
Right.
kind of mediator is better than no mediator. That was kind of my impression of what Chesh was going for.
Mhm.
So it's a lie, I think, that Steve and Reds are putting out there, that in fact it was Chesh's idea to try and get Chris Attlee in. So, but there you go. Should we move on to number 10?
Yeah, let me get to the right spot.
You're there
Yeah,
already.
Fiona was asking who the hell puts an exchange rate in a bloody contract. Like, yeah,
Right.
like it's yeah, usually in a contract you state like if there's going to be any type of like monetary currency, you state what the currency is that the contract is being negotiated in. And that's the currency for the whole contract.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you sign another thing saying otherwise. And like that can be stipulated in the contract in the footnotes where it's like, okay, well, in this case, then like if but like no, usually you just say like when I signed my freaking back when I was a tenant and I signed my rental contract, it says US dollars on the contract.
Does it?
Yeah, like that's it's usually how it works. Like,
yeah,
doesn't that-
but to be fair, you're talking about a Canadian and a
so
American.
is the contract in Canadian dollars or US dollars? Pick one. Same thing as we were saying in fucking paragraph 1 about we're going to say who's Klein and who's McRae as opposed to who's Steve and Victoria. And then you say what the fucking currency is.
Yeah, again, absolutely ridiculous.
Also, where's the contract drawn up? Like, where's the location of the contract?
It's probably was drawn up with crayons in Chris Atlee's kitchen and put on the refrigerator. Is probably where the original is.
Okay, so
Refrigerator.
Yes,
Wherever Chris
Sorry,
Atlee's
bingo.
refrigerator is. Yeah,
refrigerator.
it's true. We need a bingo card. Wherever Chris Atlee's refrigerator is,
Yeah,
we need to check jurisdiction there.
but he's purely neutral. He's professional. You know, he's purely
Yeah,
neutral.
he does that for a living. I think he told me that at least 4 times.
He's just gathering atheists and agnostics in his flock, and he's neutral. He's just kind of like easing them into
I
a
gotta
certain
say,
agreement.
Steve says pH is that a 0? Is
Yeah, neutral.
Oh my god.
That's not true. pH 0 is not neutral. I think 7 is neutral.
Yeah.
Steve says that. Oh my god. No, please.
That's why Steve thinks
No.
that's why Steve thinks that Chris's opinion is neutral. He doesn't understand what neutral is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yikes.
Okay. I don't know.
What neutral means. He doesn't know what neutral means. That's when he brought in Manya as like a neutral mod.
Oh my god. He was so mad at Manya, by the way. He's like, oh my god. Manya's like, rah, 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 rah. Manya's getting emotional. And then Dapper Dino's like, hi, I'm useless. Like, he's like looking at Dapper like,
to be honest, when I first saw that mod call, I thought, if these are the mods, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I'm not surprised because I've never really seen it too many. Well, yeah,
just like
just
if people
indecisive.
like make me one of their mods.
They're totally indecisive, which is amazing. So Steve agrees not to act in any way that can negatively affect Victoria's ability to earn an income from non sequitur. So, I mean, that is badly and loosely written at best, I would say. Firstly, in any act in any way. So I don't know exactly what that means other than slagging Victoria off. Right? So all he's saying is, I'm not going to talk bad about her. And even then, it's not saying I'm not going to talk bad about her, because I might talk bad about her if it doesn't affect her income.
well,
And
it's
considering anything, and considering he decides what's good for NSS, he actually can say anything without affecting her ability, because obviously he's going to earn money regardless.
Well, and
Go ahead.
also income from NSS.
From NSS,
he can leak nudes of her, or even like fucking deep fake some fucking nudes.
Nobody knows if that rumor is true.
I just said deep fake some shit.
Okay.
Deep fake
in
some
Minecraft.
Shit that's not even nudes.
In Minecraft.
Deep fake some videos
Minecraft.
of her
in a bikini,
boosting
potentially.
cars. Some illegal shit. I don't fucking know. And then that affects her ability to like get a job in wherever fucking Canada she lives.
Canada.
Like, that's not prohibited by the contract.
So I want to point something out, though, how funny that is that it's in the contract. Steve agrees not to act in any way that can negatively affect Victoria's ability to earn income from NSS. Why, Steve? Because you fucking learned from Kyle that was one of the reasons why Kyle wanted to bounce you out of the show, was because you negatively affected NSS ability to get guests like Aaron Raw.
Good point.
But also, what about the other way around?
Oh, Cheshire negatively affecting the show?
I mean,
they're both so toxic. They both.
I think that's in there. I actually think that's in later, or maybe earlier, but I think it's in later. So yeah. So another Steve.
That part just seems really one-sided. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So Steve agrees to increase Victoria's super chat split for Caffeine Corner on the Steve McRae channel to reflect the above. So presumably he's now giving her 50%.
Half? Okay.
Profit split. Again, and that goes from 25%, as I understand it. But of course, since then, all that's really doing is not changing Steve's income at all, because they had split it with Bull. And of course, Paul is no longer receiving money, and that money went to Steve. Let's just say that. So after Paul passed, Steve took the 25% and kept Chesh on the 25%. So Steve was 75% and Chesh was 25%. So again, I think that's just another one of these. You see what a shit you are, Steve? Moves right there. It's like this is an agreement that he was being a shit before. But there we go. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was number 11, of course. Steve being a shit to Victoria.
I feel
mean-
like we need to have Simos just write like little things in the margins. We'll have the Simos release of
Little
this.
annotated version.
right.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'll just draw a little. Hang on, let me do it now. Let's draw a penis. Little shit.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Okay. So all payments are made in US dollars and are subject to the exchange rate at the time. Obviously, fucking idiot. Okay, that's just.
Then
so
a bunch of bullshit that's unnecessary.
Yeah, just
Moving on.
fucking idiot. And even at the end, it says approximately.
Approximately.
Yeah, good enough. Near enough, good enough. Whatever.
At present. Like it literally changes by the minute. So I could look at it right now. And then you can look at it 2 minutes later and it will not be the same.
I'm amazed. That's all. I'm just amazed.
By the time they finished writing the contract, it was not the same.
No.
If they stuck that in the last thing when they wrote the contract, by the time they signed the contract, it was inaccurate.
Oh look, they want to do a PayPal transfer, not money in a bag.
Ooh,
on 13.
now that
Or bank.
surprises me. That surprises me.
I thought it would be money in a bag.
Yeah.
Whichever is Victoria's perfect. I just anytime I see somebody like referred to by like first name and I can't get over it. It's like,
yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't used a different like what we used
also
to
why
call
isn't
her.
he Steven?
Good
Just
point.
saying.
Yeah, good point. Sexist. I know what you're saying there. Yeah, exactly. Although I wouldn't. Yeah, anyway, 62 IQ might be a little. Anyway. So Victoria will need to provide an invoice for Steve each month. We actually covered that.
He won't
but
read
of course,
it. He won't.
We know
stupid or
why.
Read it. He'll be like, toilet paper. I couldn't afford
yeah.
toilet paper, so here's your invoice.
There you go. Why will she need? I mean, surely, it would if he's paying her, then he would normally be the provider.
Right.
Isn't
So
that
what that does is that suggests that she's a contractor.
Ah, okay. I hadn't really thought of it that way. I
Because
just thought,
he tried to slide that in that you're a contractor, which nobody ever got that. Like so, like I feel like that whole providing an invoice each month kind of goes towards
Yeah.
that contractor thing.
okay, I'm just going to deal with somebody inside chat for a moment. Okay, you can have a timeout, mate. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, the Cockney guy has a wrench. You're not Cockney, by the way.
No, I'm not Cockney. No, he doesn't know. Anyway, that's all right. He can come back in 300 seconds and start making the same slurs again. I won't kick him again. Okay. So yeah, moving on. Victoria will need to do the work. That's how I read that. Victoria is responsible for taxes, all local laws, etc. Does that even make sense as a sentence? I'm not sure she's responsible for local laws, apparently, that apply to her for receiving payment in Canada. Steve bears no responsibility. Yeah.
So she just has to pay taxes on the money
Yeah.
that she receives. How is she paying taxes on it? Is she paying taxes on it as somebody who's privately contracted, or is she paying like on it as an employee? Right. And then therefore, if she does that, then like that's a whole thing because she has to like pay taxes in the U.S. for money because she's working in the U.S.
Yeah, well, this has always been a question which has never really been answered, I have to say. But okay,
right.
Because fair
technically
enough.
Then she's working in the U.S.
Yeah, so I mean, even to be honest, even if he is just taking her a duffel bag full of cash, for instance, just hypothetically pulling that out of the blue, like I've never heard it anywhere before, she would still be responsible for paying her taxes, regardless of whether it's a 50-50 or thing. again, I feel this is absolutely redundant in the contract.
I mean, if you work for a drug smuggler and you
Hmm.
get money, like you're still responsible for the tax.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's unbelievable. Anyway,
Like
Hmm.
there you go.
you're not
It's
gonna
just-
probably pay him, but you are responsible for that.
yeah, yeah. This is just Steve just trying to sound legalistic, I feel. That's what it reads to me anyway. Steve does not guarantee any level of success or income from the NSS apart from the agreed amounts above, which
Which
is
is what?
fair enough. He knows what's happened before. He knows he's taken control of a dying channel. So why would he agree to anything like that? You know what I mean? Why would he say
it all
that?
goes downhill when you take a channel and then you start fishing on it, like the fishing video game.
On his philosophy channel. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
was like philosophy. We're gonna have good talks, and then he's like fishing. And I was like, oh
Yes.
my god, the boringest game ever, and you're putting that up there. You're right.
I
He's playing the
remember.
fishing game?
Yeah, on his philosophy channel, the Great Debate Community channel,
Right.
which he said he literally had
Where
said
channel's
to
gonna
a week.
die.
He said a week earlier, "Oh yeah, no, I'm going to get that going again. I'm going to have lots of philosophy debates on it." And a week later, he puts up a fishing game and just monologues through the whole lot of it. Absolutely hilarious. And I don't think he caught anything either, even in his virtual fishing game. Amazing.
Aw, poor
Oh,
guy.
it's a Fabio, huh?
Fabio says a stupid idiot.
Yeah, maybe she wouldn't
Nobody.
need to pay taxes if she got paid into a Swiss bank account. I'm just saying.
Nobody puts where somebody should pay taxes or any shit, especially for a contractor.
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree. Unbelievable. Still, I mean, again, I think that's in there so Steve can sound like he knows what he's fucking talking about. I can imagine him and Chris talking to each other, and Steve going, "Oh shit, Chris
Put
has
the thing
made
in
all
there
of the,
about she got paid her own taxes.
yeah, Chris has made all of the best points here. He sounds
Chris,
like he
can you
knows
leak
what he's
that
doing."
video?
Hang on a minute.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let me say something stupid. And then it's Chris going, yeah, that doesn't need to be in there. Oh, all right, Steve. Yeah, I'll write that down. Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, there we go. Number 17. So this agreement can be ended by either party or by either party or by mutual decision, giving 2 weeks' notice. Steve retains the channel in that situation. He had the channel before. I mean, why would that even be in there?
Why would he retain the channel if that's the case, unless they were 50-50 partners? That's
Wow.
weird,
Yeah.
lawful, right?
Why would it be in there that he retains the channel if she was never a partner or privy to partial ownership of said channel?
Exactly. And this is the bit where he knows. You see, one of the things is Steve knows this legal word perpetuity, doesn't he? So he needs to cover for this. And I'm just saying that's why I think this is here, because this is more aimed at fuck you, Kyle, than anything. So Steve retains the channel in that situation and agrees to pay Victoria, there it is again, for any continued revenues from her appearances for a period, all right, not in perpetuity, but for a period that is equal to the period she has been formally involved. I mean, there's no logic to that. I mean, that's just completely fucking arbitrary, right? So what's it going into this for? Right, so Chesh can go, oh no, hang on, I want it to be twice the period.
Which number are you on? Sorry, I was taking my knee brace
17.
off and I was like dying.
I'm taking 17 here. And I'm just saying how arbitrary number 17 is.
Yeah. Well, and that's what like Reds was like, oh, well then like the minimum is like 24 months that she would get paid for under this contract.
Yeah.
But like
it's not what it says in this particular bit, but you know, then why would Reds actually read the fucking document that they put out there?
Well, because he's saying that like she would still
Sorry.
Yeah.
Fabio says you're reading this wrong. This is the contract Steve wished that Carl had signed.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. We need to take out the word Victoria and replace it with the word Kyle.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. But I mean,
And
again,
really
this is like directly against his perpetuity bit, and it's not what Reds has said in his video. So okay, maybe.
Right,
And
so-
I think it was something Steve had said, but not put in this particular document. Go
Right.
ahead.
So I just, again, like, this seems different than what Red's was like reading off.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Let me just finish the reading. For example, if Victoria had been involved for 3 years, she would continue for 3 years refugee after leaving. For people equal to in appearances, all it says is equal to. So if she left after like 2 weeks, she'd have to give 2 weeks' notice. That's a month. According to this, she'd only be entitled to pay on her appearances
I
for a
thought
month.
that was another point in this, though, was that it was a minimum, like that she retains partnership, 50-50 partnership for 12 months.
Yeah, whatever the 50-50 partnership is in this case, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe let's just carry on then. Number 18.
That's my quotey bunnies.
Keep calm and carry on. Do you see anything wrong with number 18? Rose pointed it out.
The fact that it says the above condition is numbered 18.
Despite the above condition, number 18, which is this condition, Steve agrees to guarantee the arrangement
Steve
for a
wrote
period
this.
of 12 months. Exactly as you just said. Victoria's age to terminate the agreement at any time. Oh, right. So if she terminates it, then she won't get as long. Right.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have to terminate it.
Yeah, she can just walk away and not answer her phone for a period of 12 months.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure because is she allowed to do anything that negatively harms the NSS? In which case, she can't just
She's
quit.
not doing anything, though. That's inaction. Is inaction harm?
Okay, you got me. She's a legal beagle and a half, this one, I can tell you. Okay, moving on then. So
yeah,
she's not...
18 refers to number 18, yeah.
Lovely.
Please see
Yeah.
footnote.
Okay, during negotiations, McRae actually said she'd be paid in perpetuity for as long as she stayed.
Yeah.
What? That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense either.
He said a lot of dumb shit like that where I was like, what?
Y'all are stupid.
We should really clip out those points because those are the funny points. It's like things like
Absolutely.
It's like those videos that people do of like Amberlynn compilations where she just says stupid shit. Like,
that. Right. Exactly.
we need to do one.
We should do like an out of context like debate because how he accused the Janie's terrible as an edited video. We should actually edit the video and not change anything except just put everything out of order and just share all the stupid parts. Especially Vanya and Chesh crying. We need Chesh crying in there for sure because that was glorious.
I don't know. I don't know.
You have too much heart.
Maybe.
This is war.
It's not war.
Please
Ukraine is war.
Look, you don't know.
Okay, that was war.
No,
you're right.
Savage, have some respect, please. A
I'm
channel
sorry. You're right.
has
A channel
died here
You're right. A channel has died. I'm
twice.
sorry.
So just so you know, Simos, Savage, and I do play DayZ, and Simos is like, right then, go get that guy. He's a murderer. We're like, cool. And there's this guy, and he's got like a tag, and he's a murderer. And then we get a Bitcoin if we shoot him, and we're all excited.
He had a bounty on his head. We didn't just like go randomly like killing
Right.
guys. He was a murderer.
He was a murderer. He had a bounty. So Savage has like a big old heart, but Savage is a better player than I am too. So I'm like running as backup to Savage. And Savage is like, got her gun, and she's got the guy on the ground. And we hear the guy
I've got him
go,
in my sights.
He's like, please
He's in
don't
the
hurt
crosshair.
me. Please don't shoot. And it sounds like he's crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. And then she hesitated, and I went, pow.
I was like, gosh, me. Spackle's just like,
This was your first day playing as well. No fucking mercy. Straight in there. Kill the kid.
No.
Oh my god.
The most
Oh my God.
treacherous players are 13-year-olds. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Just
you're not
shoot
wrong.
them.
You're not wrong. You're not
he
wrong.
was like, yeah, he was in the middle of puberty. He was.
Yeah. This is why I've always said you can't trust Chesh. You know. Okay, enough of that.
You're misogynistic bullshit, Simos.
Yeah. What? To her, she looks like a 13-year-old boy. I can't help it.
Don't insult
And-
13-year-old boys.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Well,
We're not insulting people's looks.
no,
We're
no, we're not.
insulting people's stupidity.
That as well, yeah.
Right.
We're insulting people's bullshit, but we're not insulting their looks.
Right.
No, I'm taking everything I say, taking jest, of course,
because to be fair, I mean, nobody.
You're English. We can't tell when you're joking. I'm sorry.
That's true.
okay.
We can't
Well,
tell.
okay. Let me say this. I feel sorry for Victoria in this situation. I think she's been hard done by.
Well, now that's too much.
No.
Walk it down. Not that much.
Hashtag. What about the Simps? Come on now. I'm just saying that more people have suffered because of this than just Jesh and Steve. But just the same way that we all thought Carl had been a dick, right? To Steve, and that Steve did genuinely deserve some money for the work he'd done.
Yeah.
I feel exactly the same way. I think all dicks. There you go. Savage predicted this a long time ago.
I did.
Yeah, we're all dicks. But I do feel sorry for Victoria in this situation. She did a lot of work for Steve, a lot of dirty work, as far as I can tell, and she deserved a better and less public dismissal than this. That's for sure. Anyway, that's my actual viewpoint on it.
I do feel sorry for her to a point, but I can also tell, like, in some of these like negotiations, like the way that she's just like, no, I want to win and I want to dig and I'm going to play dirty and I don't fucking care at this point. And like, I don't like that, to me loses the sympathy points.
And that observation has been backed up by one of her people. That she was not there to actually, when she saw it was going to be a shit show, she was there to give Steve a number where he'd probably have his first bowel movement in like 2 years.
There is that as well. Oh my god, yeah, good point. I mean, I just think that it was obvious because it's Steve that was going to be the case. Number one, so I think she would have been naive if she'd gone in there saying anything different to her close friends, etc. I say close friends.
She would have been naive. Look at where she was. How the fuck do you think she ended up there if she wasn't naive?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
She is both naive and many C words are crossing my mind. Cunning.
Well,
the obvious C word. Conniving, I think, is with a K. But yeah, like
I was like, I don't know how to spell.
but yeah, like what James says, what she did to Drag and Fiona and to Nate and many others is so grotesque that, like, yeah, I can't feel sorry for her. There is a Schadenfreude there. What she did, like how she was gunning for people like Shannon Q. She was like, and she was throwing shade at Shannon Q. And I'm like,
I did have a little bit of Schadenfreude. I will say, like, when I just because it was like, I freaking saw this coming. We talked about this. We were like, oh my god, like she's gonna get screwed over by him, and then she'll see. And it's like, conniving is the C word.
Yeah, the C word. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a good point. She definitely is on that end of playing to Steve and what his wishes and being manipulated by that, and then equally going along with it, and presumably some of those kind of plans are just too, even for Steve, he's too stupid to think of them. So I think you've got to be some kind of dirty player in order to come out with those. But then she did work, so work should be paid for.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, I'm just pointing that out. That I'm not.
Also, I also think that she, like, her work is not as good as Kyle's work. Like, if we're like looking at like the quality of like the thumbnails that Kyle did and the thumbnails that I'm just gonna call her Chesh. I'm sorry, I can't do the whole thing. But like, if we're looking at like comparing the quality of like even the layouts, like she used Kyle's layouts and then like edited them to like look bad.
Right. But I think she was at the point where she knew enough to be like, I'm not gonna put in a ton of work in this unless I'm getting paid. Like I actually do think like
You
she
think she
did
was
say she dropped some hints, a few hints, like
Mm.
like actually in front of people. And so I
At
think
this point, I haven't got paid at all. Yeah.
I could be wrong because I don't know the level of laziness she's at. I mean, she does seem like the kind of kid that would like throw her chair and say, I don't need high school anyway and leave. But but like, you know, like I kind of I don't know. I think that she really wasn't trying very hard until she got something like that was cemented in, you know. That was the impression that I got. She still sucks, but like
Yeah.
you know,
I think that she did put a lot of effort into like a lot of stuff though. Like
the art.
not necessarily that, but she did. I think she did her best legal analysis that she could. I mean, that
Oh,
playlist,
yeah,
as
she
much
put
as
work in
like
that.
she like murdered my ear holes during the however many hours I spent listening to her. She put a lot of work into that,
Mhm.
even though she didn't really necessarily know what she was doing.
Yeah. Well, again, when it seemed to me that Steve had relied upon her when he said, "Right, let's start doing non-sec again."
Well, and it was obvious to me that she had read over all of the docket entries before she went on and talked about them, and probably had talked to Steve about them as well.
Hmm.
So, like, it wasn't just however
Yeah.
many hours of sitting in front of the camera. Like, she had spent time on it.
Yeah, and she still sounded like a moron, but she did put in
Right.
work, right? We didn't say
Right.
the
Yeah, well,
quality of
that's
work.
it. I mean, who are we comparing it to, though,
She
right? We're comparing
tried.
it. We're comparing it to Steve. So come on now. You know what I'm saying? We're not looking for fucking the next Einstein here, are we?
Right.
Anyway,
It was
yeah,
not up to the same level as professionalism as it was with Kyle. That's for sure.
yeah. Even then, it might have started achieving a better level, but again, it just goes to show. I mean, bearing in mind, this was just the first month of receipts from this show that they split on. I mean, and that doesn't tell you something about Steve's agenda. I don't know what else does, right? The fact that Steve went, oh, it's nothing, it's not much, and I can't get it anyway. And then she went and sorted it out and found out how much it really was and what was going on with it. Then Steve started going, okay, well, I need to get in contact with YouTube, etc. See what I mean? He wouldn't have anything. He'd still be none the wiser. The money would still be going to Kyle, presumably.
To me, it seems ridiculous that like their first priority was to like get back on the air, and they didn't take care of any of the shit that was like behind the scenes.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, yeah.
Agreed. Well, again, that falls in line with what Steve has done with previous channels. So, okay, fair enough. You know what I mean? Fair enough.
All right.
Moving on to 19, I guess.
Yeah, are we there yet? Let's see here. Let me go back. Let me get over
Are people
here.
spamming in the chat?
Yeah, we
I put
get
it full
that.
screen so I could see this.
We
So.
get that you're.
You're over here now. I don't even see you.
Oh, you don't see me? Oh.
No. I see you. I see you and Simos in the document and myself.
Okay.
But
not
then
the
I have
chat.
to look over here to see the chat unless you pull it up at the bottom, because it makes it easier for me to read the document. So
Gotcha.
y'all are over here. When I'm looking over here, it's because I'm looking at the chat.
Okay.
You guys are over here.
Despite the above condition. Okay, we already read that one. So now we're at 19?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love this one. This one is Steve all over. Go ahead. Do you want me to read it? Or?
This agreement will be reviewed every 12 months when NSS
Comma.
when NSS is at
Doesn't actually need a comma.
100,000 YouTube subscribers.
100,000. That's like a 5 times increase. 5 times increase on the current number of subscribers. And he thinks he's going to do it in the first 12 months.
Is it even 5 times? I thought it was more than that. Are they at 20?
Well, I assume they're going to be around 20, probably
I
less
thought they
now.
were like
but...
15.
Okay, 15. 6 times. Okay, no problem. Well, 6.5. 6.7
See, this is yeah.
maybe.
Oh my
Anyway.
god, I'm wrong. It went the other way. They're up
Oh,
to
did it?
30.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. Maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe it would have got to 100,000
Maybe it would have.
if they hadn't have killed the channel again.
If they had kept Kyle. Principled uncertainty, TDLR, what happened? Granted, I'm not sympathetic to my position, but I like Spackle. What is my position?
To your position, but I like Speckle.
What is my what? Okay, I don't know. Okay,
Well,
Well-
presumably he's on Steve's side. Presumably,
for
not
fuck
sympathetic to
alive,
your
we don't know.
position.
Okay,
I mean, he asked for the TLDR.
all right.
So, like,
so the
Yeah.
TLDR is like Kyle maybe fucked over Steve, and then Steve fucked over Chesh, or Chesh. I like it's
Yeah.
the non sequitur show died twice. Like, there is no TLDR. Go read.
and Reds may or may not be actually involved, but is involved, and
Oh wow.
they have a bullshit contract.
Oh, this
That's
is
not
great.
a contract that nobody signed, so it
You
doesn't
guys-
matter.
Principled uncertainty. I remember you from G Plus.
Not
We
pro
we
Kyle.
are not
Okay.
pro Kyle.
No,
I-
we're definitely not.
If
pro
I
Kyle.
say Kyle does the majority of the work from the channel, we're not pro.
Yeah.
This
This
is
has been
Savage
my
Minnows.
Since
Show the note, the first note that you wrote. That one.
that was your opinion when reviewing the whole non sequitur stuff, right?
this was when I was researching for my video on non sequitur show, which was over 6
Right.
months ago.
So to make an assumption that we're pro Kyle is not the right assumption.
No.
No.
All
And Steve is well liked, more so than many of you. Well, certainly than me, because I'm a complete asshole. So that goes without saying.
more liked than me, probably. Yeah.
But when you say well liked, it really depends how you
Depends
define
on-
well.
Depends
There.
on who you talk with, in what circles. Is Steve
But-
well liked among
Well, I mean, does anybody
among
really
Christian
well like Steve?
apologists? Well, actually, it depends on the apologist. So, like, you'll see like Sentinel Apologetics, you'll see S.J. Thomason, you'll see
Oh, no.
Rana. Those people.
SJ doesn't. No.
No, yeah, she has. She's engaged with Steve. They have.
Yeah,
all
yeah. I
engaged
don't
with
think
Steve
she
at some
likes
point.
him though.
Likes him enough to engage, right?
Oh,
and then,
okay. Well,
and then you
if
have the
that's your-
Calvinist.
that's your
You have
pal.
the Calvinist mafia that hates Steve. They're like, and they laugh at him. So like it depends on
true
the
as well.
theist. So, and then when you talk to atheists, I mean, who likes Steve? Matt Dillahunty, Aaron Raw.
Oh no, they hate him. They
I was
can't
gonna
fucking
say,
stand
do
him.
they?
They can't
likes
fucking
Steve?
stand him. Yeah.
Except
Oh,
for
the
that little knit group, like yeah.
yeah, and pal talkers. They don't really like him either. I'm pretty sure.
No, they think he's funny.
You know, I think he tried to talk to them about his wasp argument, and they laughed in his face. I'll
Right.
just say that. So there you go. That's great. And Bob, your name here. Thank you, Bob. Good to see you. And Steve is well liked if you're looking for a laugh. Exactly. He is becoming, or has become, and has been for many years in my case, a lulz cow. So yeah, there is that.
Steve is EKC is the other one I wanted to review, and we just haven't gotten to it. I didn't expect this to take so long, but EKC. I want to review EKC and Tina I Cut You, partially because Tina I Cut You said some dumb shit. But anyway,
I have an innate bias against Carl. Maybe he's awesome, but he's also ruined the show for me. Yeah, it was Carl that ruined the show. I think
Yeah.
they both ruined the show. To be fair, if I'm fair about it,
Yeah.
and I will say, taking the Steve ruined it because he got involved with the flat earthers, and that definitely fucking ruined the show as far as I was concerned.
yeah, but that's.
Um,
But when you mess with flat earthers, you're getting the momentum and the hype that Rhetoric had, and they did gain viewership with that.
Yeah, maybe they got some of Red's viewerships, but I wouldn't have called that a step forward. Let me just say that. Genuinely, Fabio says, I genuinely like what Steve does, and I hope he carries on for a long
It's
time. I think, and let me just say that in the right phraseology. I genuinely like what Steve does. And I hope he carries on so I can laugh at him for a long time. Okay, thank you.
EKC and Tina stepped into the arena in the hockey rink, and they were given Steve's bidding to read out his fact sheet. They're fair. They're fair to criticize.
The good people and should be left out of any such argument one
Yeah.
has against
Yeah.
Steve.
Good
Yeah.
people read people's rape reports like it's story time. That's what a good person does, right? Yeah.
Let's not do
Yeah.
that.
That is, again, regardless of how you feel about somebody, right?
Right.
Just like we didn't like Carl, we didn't like Steve. We still said Steve should get paid for the work that he's done.
Right.
Right? Now, I don't like whoever that woman is. I don't know what's her name. KCPG, whatever. What's her name?
KFC? No.
KT Joy. That's it. KT Joy
KJP?
something or another.
Oh
KJP
no.
WOAC.
That's the one. A plus. Yeah.
Katie Joy.
Now
Bolton.
I don't know who the fuck she is, and I don't actually like her. I've seen 2 of her
I don't
videos.
like her either.
I fell asleep, literally in the in a 5-minute video she did, and that's okay. But I would never think of attacking A, her family, right, or B, talking about such a sensitive subject. As a man, I would never talk about that or refer to it or try
Well,
and use it against that person.
Did you hear how she justified it? And this is just for EKC, and she's justified on Twitter as, well, Katie said bad things about the cops that handled it. Therefore, I had to pull the report, and we had to get down and
Fuck.
yeah, and that's how she justifies it. And she has people that justify it alongside of her, like Claire, and I can't help but notice. So like you might think that they're good people, maybe, but like I don't think that was a good action. So anyway,
Whether they're good or not is a personal opinion. Whether they should
Savage
be
is trying to
whether they
okay,
should
we'll
be
change the
attacked,
subject.
whether they should be attacked for their family is just is a low blow, regardless.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, that's how that goes.
Right. But anyway, let's just move on from the EKC. I guess
Okay.
Savage doesn't want that heat.
Okay, wonderful. Number 20. Savage, go ahead.
If there are any disputes, a third party will be used to mediate. Now, is that where we're coming back to? Like, is Red supposed to be that third party? And I feel like if they're saying in this contract, okay, a third party will be used to mediate, then shouldn't this dictate who said third party will be, or how it will be determined who that third party will be? Like, just like saying, oh, a third party. Okay,
Yeah.
what is that? It could be my dog. Lizzie.
Exactly. It's because it doesn't say anything. I mean, it's obvious that if we're going to mediate, that just that definition of that word means that there's going to be somebody else probably involved if the two parties are at loggerheads. If the two parties are, and you'd expect there to be a third party agreed by both parties should be then formally allowed to mediate, or a professional service will be engaged in order to do the mediation.
Right.
Something along those lines, also stating that they should be neutral, right? And it's just, again, Steve just getting his fucking thing in, going, well, I'm a lawyer, I'm just going to make some shit up. Anyway, there we go. 21. This agreement will remain confidential. Yeah, okay, Steve, but you've got to mediate. If you want people to go, yeah, I'll remain, it'll remain confidential, you've got to be willing to mediate. Otherwise, people aren't even going to agree that the mediation will remain confidential, right? That's all. So it's just the whole fucking notion that he's actually prepared to negotiate just is laughable by this document.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's both of them in that video and with the documents going back and forth. Both of them are almost like playing chicken where they're running at each other as a car, and no one really expects to actually have a meeting of the minds, as Steve likes to put it.
Right.
Yeah, they just want to crash it and figure out who ends up with the kids, right?
Yeah, basically. Who's got the keys to the car? Oh, right, it's Steve. I'm the only one that can drive.
Yeah, Steve has the
but-
keys to the car,
but
but then she's
I-
got all the viewers.
Well, but then I want you to clean it. I want you to make sure the engine runs properly. I want you to make sure there's enough gas in the car. You know, I want you to make sure my seat's plumped up, my pillow's ready to go. You know what I mean? And that I can reach the pedals. And this is my analogy here. If we're going to use the car, Steve, just again, I think Chesh said it at one point. Basically, with this agreement, to get any money, if you stop doing anything, I'm going to have to do everything in order to get my 50%. Now, if that isn't exactly the situation that Steve was putting Carl in, I don't know what. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Savage. You could say it better than I can.
No, you took the words right out of my mouth. Like that was exactly what the position was that he was putting Kyle in.
Yeah.
Or Kyle was
Unbelievable,
putting
really.
him in, or however they want to fucking, you know what I with the split that they were both. One of them was going in one direction, trying to do 100% of the work, and the other one was going in the other direction, trying to do 100% of the work.
100% of the work. I mean, that was never the case with Steve.
Neither of them did.
We've never. I mean, we knew from the GDC, right? When he started the GDC, he started his Google Plus GDC trademark bollocks. The first thing he said is, "I want people to come in and do the work. I want content providers
It's
to
gonna be my
provide
channel,
content to my channel."
right?
Right? I want content providers to do that, and you'll get all the credit. But I just want you to post your content on my channel.
That's correct.
And
Yeah.
then it expanded because then people said, "Oh, hang on a minute, Steve. What about having this like encyclopedia GDC thing, and we can list people and have a good laugh?" Oh, what a great idea! Somebody else got the website. Somebody else wrote the content for it. Right? It wasn't Steve writing all of these witty things about all of these people. And of course, all it turned out to be, as in my opinion, was just people. And Steve got butthurt when somebody wrote his one, which was disparaging. All right.
Yeah, he did not
Remember
take it
that?
well.
He didn't, did he?
Remember.
In fact, he started banning people from that as well. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, mate.
Right. He could not take what was being dished out on his behalf. But what was funny with that is, I was
That
one
does
of
not
the,
surprise me.
I was one of the, as much as a shitlord he says I am, right? I was one of the people that said I had a moral problem with that. It was just a high school slam book. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, before we had the internet and stuff, there was like a who's the ugliest, who's this, who's that, and that's what that was. It was a high school slam book.
Who are the unpopular kids?
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going to get
Who
slandered.
smells?
And all the popular kids are going to be called, "Oh, how fantastic they are! What a great asset to this community." I'm like, come on, dude.
And he wanted to be a
We
popular
called
kid.
that a Facebook where I'm from.
Oh, you call it Facebook?
Like
What?
before Facebook was Facebook,
Mhm.
in the land before MySpace.
Right.
That's what a Facebook was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where
okay.
I'm from was like we would use it like a last year's yearbook, and people would write shit in it, and like then it would end up being like a notebook that like got passed around, and people would cut out the pictures from the yearbook, and
Yeah, it's the
it
same
was a
bullshit.
Facebook.
He basically was doing that. We called it slam book. Same thing. Like, I'm a little bit older than you. like it's the same bullshit. And I said, like, how old are we? Like, and as much as I'm like, yes, let's watch the drama and laugh, ha ha ha, right now, like there's sort of a level of having this stagnant whole website just dedicated to that. It just was really weird. I was against it anyway, but it was really funny when somebody said something like you said about Steve. He was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, that it got changed, and then somebody, I think it was Kevin as well, but I'm not certain, changed his picture and changed a few other little details, so it looked
Kevin.
almost the same.
Yeah, and there's
It
like a
was,
little
and then-
detail. Yeah,
And then
little
left.
crown here. Yeah, yeah. There was a crown.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah,
Pissed off the wrong people. See, again, Steve pissing off the wrong people.
right.
So it's amazing how often he does it, right? And people like, all of the people that were not au fait with Steve in the first place just went, well, there we go, we told you. You see what I mean? This is just this GDC is not for everybody like it was originally said. It's not come one, come all. We accept you.
Oh, it's
Let's
a
get
trap.
in there. Let's have a good debate between theists and
Yeah.
atheists. It was just literally who are Steve's friends and
Right.
who can Steve lick the arse off, basically.
Yeah, it was a big
And
bait
and that was
switch.
it. And if you weren't one of those people, if you weren't a personality, then you were going to get short shrift.
Hmm.
So I don't
So-
know. It's just fucking weird. It's just history repeating. Sorry, go ahead.
So let's take
I
a
got-
minute. Go
I
ahead.
got sidetracked by the side chat.
Yeah,
Sorry.
side chat's going off. That is a big rabbit hole, so I don't want to
Okay.
dive too much into the LMN Nat
Okay.
salty stuff, because that, for me, I need a whole timeline, and I don't think in timelines. I think in wibbly wobbly squiggly creative lines. And so, like, for me, like, I need somebody to like timeline this shit for me. 'Cause, yeah.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing that I enjoy doing, but I don't know the information. So
Oh
like
God, I can send you all sorts of shit, and then you can be like, let's make sense of it together.
I'll make you
But-
like a diagram. Like
Yeah.
here's your
Yeah.
And
here's your visual aid.
Hello, Randolph. Lots of love, Ro. Lots of love, mate. Sorry, just had to get that in because it's Randolph.
All right.
Just got to do my
Made
ask.
a post on Twitter saying that soon many people would be singing a different tune.
We need a palate
I
cleanser.
can't speak for anyone else but myself, but as it pertains to me, she was right. She was absolutely right. Do
What
you
was she
hear
right
it, Katie
about?
Joy? Do you fucking hear that? It's the new tune. I don't know, Katie. You're braver than I am. I wouldn't want to hear me sing, but
I just want to
God
point
damn it,
out this is
you
the
are fucked in
Putin
the head,
song
so
that you see with
I
all
guess-
the pro-Putin
I guess
people.
we have no choice. Here we go. There lived a certain witch, bugging like an itch. Can you believe I got
What
an
the
email
fuck?
from this bitch? She thought we would look
Oh, I've heard
with terror
that.
and with fear. If you thought that I say put
It's so
down
bad
the fear.
though.
Oh my god, the
This
timing is so bad.
asshole thinks she can scare us, saying
Hmm.
there's info to collect. But little does she know that it will have the
Is there,
opposite
like-
effect. Fuck you, Katie Joy.
Is there,
Nothing
like-
like Chips Ahoy. There is nothing delicious with her. Fuck you, Katie Joy. Grizzly suits I will enjoy. Get
If there
ready
was
to
a
be
way-
exposed. Ah,
To like charge.
come on, Katie. You really have to do this.
You'll never get
It's
this
making
time
my
back.
ears bleed.
You will never unhear this bad, this
The email
bad
said to
singing.
save messages and text. Let me explain in the verse coming next. This email said I can't discuss the matter too. Well, to that I say you can eat my greasy
Thank
poo.
you, Tom.
You don't control me, and I will criticize you if I want.
If there was like a way to like siphon off the energy of like a cringe.
Oh my god,
And
that's
like
so funny.
I
think I've
stopped
heard
it before he said the
ages.
C word. He just
Yeah,
yelled the C word. He's like, you C word. I was like, oh my God.
He is cringe and a half, isn't he?
he's
Oh
something,
dear.
right?
really
I mean,
hurt
you know.
my feelings.
It
Yeah,
hurts
but-
your feelings. What?
He's one of the internet's top flat Earth debunkers. Just remember that every time. That makes me go, oh yeah, of course he's a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Does he make
Yeah.
you sad?
Oh yeah. They made me really like it's just so bad.
Or your ears bleeding?
Not quite, but they're like bruised.
You were like, stop. Okay, we stopped.
It's like my eyes started like pulsing. Like, oh my God. It's yeah.
Oh,
Some people are not meant to sing.
some people are instrumentalists.
Some people aren't even that. You need timing to be an instrumentalist.
Yeah.
You think he could play the kazoo?
That's not going to happen.
Also, like
Hmm.
there are like musicians that can't sing, but like they can still like see, like you were saying, like timing,
Hmm,
intonation.
Tom
Like,
Waits,
those are
Ringo
not-
Starr. Ringo Starr. Tom Petty can't sing really. He like is in a 4-note range. I like Tom Petty. Rest
Yeah.
in peace, but he really couldn't sing.
I mean, Bob Dylan,
Oh, Bob Dylan's
His-
atrocious.
his voice sounds terrible, but he like can time it right and like hit the proper notes.
Right. Oh my god.
It sounds like a cheese grater, but
Yeah. Amy Mann's not really a great singer, but I love her as a singer-songwriter, and she's another one that like I'm like, oof, not a great voice, but good writer. Or the guy with the stupid Hallelujah song that I don't like, but I like his other songs, like The Story of Isaac and That's No Way to Say Goodbye. What's his name? He's like Shannon Q loves him. Oh my god, I'm gonna like kick myself because I know his name. Everybody knows Hallelujah,
I know
Hallelujah,
the
and
song,
they always
but I have to,
misapply
like-
that song.
I have to like think about it for a minute, and I'll like not get it. I'll just like need silence. So like I've given
Leonard
up on it.
Cohen. Leonard Cohen.
Oh, Leonard Cohen, yes.
Good writer, horrible voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't sing sharp. Well, couldn't sing in tune in the.
Right.
If
Everybody does it better
hit
than him.
depended on it. Fortunately, none of his hits did depend on it. So there you go. Bob Dylan sings better than Speckle.
I could do that. I
That
could do
is like
Bob
a
Dylan challenge.
left-handed compliment. Like
Yeah.
that's like when I was in drama class in high school, and I think I don't remember how it was that Julia Roberts came up in conversation, and my drama teacher goes, "I hate Julia Roberts. You're a better actor than Julia Roberts." And I was like,
Ouch. I hate this person.
Annalise, not what my agent said.
Right. Wow.
I was like, how
Weird.
how do I respond to that? Like, that's how I feel about the Bob Dylan sings better than you, Spackle. Like,
Yeah. It's funny.
Okay.
Damn, spooky. Damn.
sheesh.
Yeah. Okay. Want to buy some Mendes, Bob? Okay.
Looking for a timestamp. But yeah, what were we gonna say?
Well, no, I was just going to say to take us back a little bit. There were a couple of things. I mean, I didn't go through the video with you, but clearly going through it, that was one of the worst Reds videos I've seen. Not only because of his obnoxious, annoying, and basically over macho voice, which he uses, but also because some things were clearly just fed to him by Steve. Oh, I say fed to him. Some
Yeah, the
things
fact sheet.
clearly were not representative of actually what happened in front of the whole community. Remember, these videos have been leaked. Okay, so we know what happened. Fridge. You don't have to spin the story to us, right? Other than hello, this is the same old that they always do. They respin the story, rewrite history. Same thing with David L. Warden, and then that's it. They only play that to their fans and their cult members, right? So it's just here we go again. Yeah, okay. That's why Steve says he's going to refer people to that as the definitive video, because it doesn't say anything. It doesn't address any of the issues that people know. If so, in actual fact, worse than before as well. And I'm just horrified that he would do that. I mean, I know I should know better.
No, we
But I
all
still
didn't think he was as bad as he turned out to be, right? Like,
Well, certainly not at the time. I mean, when that
Yeah.
brass tacks came out, I remember saying, look, Steve is being a real shit about this. Right? Clearly, Mouty is not, shouldn't be accused the way he's being accused. Right? That's just wrong. And Reds went, oh, yeah, no, it's wrong for Mouty to be accused that way. I said, well, also, Drag was trying to help. Yeah, I know Drag's trying to help. That's why I'm trying to, mediate with Steve, etc., etc. And then, so I'm going to go and speak to Steve, and I'm going to get all of this hashed out, and I'm going to come back, and everything's going to be okay.
yeah,
Just
people,
don't blow it up. Don't go on TST. And I went, okay, I won't
Yeah.
go on TST.
Mhm.
No problem. I'll let you come back to me. How long did you say? Right, 2 days. Okay, you're coming back to me in 2 days.
Mhm.
I've never spoken to him since. And that was how many years ago? Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just a disingenuous little piece of shit. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, my opinion only, not that of the host. Please don't
Sound
demonetize her for that.
In Minecraft.
I've gotten Have we gotten monetized yet? You're so
No.
close. You're so close.
Yeah.
Hey guys, click that subscribe button if you
Yeah.
haven't already. Like, look how freaking close Spackle is to 1,000.
Oh wow, yeah, 100%.
90% of my videos get demonetized off the off the boom demonetized, but
but-
that's okay.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah.
means it's an interesting channel. So please sub and for interesting
Exactly.
future content. There you go.
And
Yeah.
click that bell so you get notified because
Definitely
doesn't
that.
like to notify us.
There was something, Tina, I caught you said that was really interesting to me, and I wanted to find it, and I'm just scrolling through looking for it, and it's bugging me because I don't have it queued up. I should have done this ahead of time, but
Yeah. So just as a principal, is certainly saying sorry to drop it again, but I saw thick shades earlier on a stream. My feed is
I'm
time traveling
sorry.
again. Okay.
Thick
Yeah,
Shades
we
is
had
still
the
around?
same
I
thing.
haven't seen him in ages.
Yeah, we had the same thing with Nate Cunningham and Roy Montero as well.
Oh, I might review the Tom Rabbit review of the
Oh,
Roy thing
good.
because I have a lot of things to say about Roy. So on a side note, Tom Rabbit released a video of Roy, who's an apologist. Now he's been around for a while, and he used to come in, and he's one of those kind of name it and claim it guys. He's like he's selling you something. He's actually a life coach, right? So he comes rolling in. He comes rolling in, and he would be in the chat, and he'd be like, "God or no God?" And you're like, "Well, well, actually," and someone would have some nuance, and be like, "No, God or no God," and he would
No,
force you into no nuance.
He used to say in the beginning, God, yes or no.
Yeah, that too. In the beginning, God, yes or no,
no.
and you're just like,
No.
hi, Roy. And so you come into these chats and try to take control, and then you'd hear Dee in the background. I haven't seen Dee in forever. I only see her
You
like
know what I would be like
she'd
with
be like,
that,
"Control
right?
freak." She'd be like whispering, "Control freak" in the background.
I would be like, what? Define God.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
that was done several times. Yeah.
But actually, when that latest video
Divine
of
beginning.
right,
Yeah, I think another line was define yes.
he doesn't put up with nuance. He would already stop you and start taking control of this conversation
Yeah.
and move to the next person. If you don't play his
Yeah.
game, he moves to the next person.
That was it. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's it. You can't understand what I'm talking about. Next person.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Brilliant.
Like if you're just
Brilliant.
gonna say in the beginning God ? You're right. I'm not gonna understand. I don't understand. I'm not smart enough to get it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anyway, old faces, old. Like I mean, like Roy was terribly creepy on one hangout we went on when I don't know if you remember this, but Ermine's daughter was on a hangout. Do you remember that? I don't know if you were there or not, but Ermine was there, and her daughter had just got into stage school, 17. Okay, she's doing really well, very smart girl. She came on the hangout. We're all just chatting around, talking, and Roy comes in and starts targeting her. I mean, it's just as creepy as you want to be, right? Oh, no, I'm just talking to her. Yeah, well, stop asking her personal questions, dude. She's a 17-year-old girl. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Unbelievable, really. Oh, sorry, he was creepy as fuck. It turned out, you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'd like to see you review that thing for sure. That video, Tom Rabbit video on him, because I'd like him to be exposed a little more as to some of the shit that he used to say and get up to.
All right.
Anyway.
I'm gonna put a trigger warning.
Uh-oh.
If you knew me when I first started, I started in the Christian debate versus secular atheist agnostic kind of thing, back and forth. And I was a Christian theist on the more progressive end of things. And I came in and I said, well, shit, this can't do. And I was naive and stupid enough to believe that you could build this and have understanding.
Build bridges, I think.
Right. And And at the time, I thought one of the best ways, and I still like to do interviews, but one of the best ways to humanize people, because I was seeing people dehumanize each other back and forth. Well, theists are just idiots, even though I was once a theist, but now they're just idiots. And the other people would dehumanize the other direction, and they'd be like, well, you're just immoral, you're an atheist because you just want to sin it all up, and you're just evil, and
Right.
you're basically worse than anybody in the world. If there was a Christian incarcerated for murder, I'd choose him instead of you. Like like, you know, they saying these horrible shitty things back and forth, and I was like, dude, this can't. I was like in shock. I was like, oh my god, this happens. And so, like, I thought, well, let's humanize each other. And Roy is the only interview about 8 minutes in where I went, if I was on camera, you would have probably seen my face drop. And I was like, do I stop this? And so I'm going to put a trigger warning on here that Roy mentions a something that does not happen. But if he hadn't found Jesus, a murder-suicide would happen. So I was like, oh, you keep your Jesus, and let's. I'll show you real quick because somebody was asking about this, and I'll show you.
From Almighty God, I was body, soul, and dead spirit. And I didn't know that until my friend Gene, who I'd known for 10 years, is my best friend, still is, that told me or asked me, are you born again? Do you know you must be born again? And I said no. So when he explained it to me, he didn't explain it the way that I'm explaining it to you, because he said, why don't you come to church with me on Wednesday, because we're having a really cool sermon. It's how to raise a juvenile delinquent in 10 easy steps. I said, I'm in. I get the wordplay on that, and I'm in. So as a new dad, I was with one child, a 2-year-old daughter, and I said, yeah, I need this information. So listened to the sermon. It was awesome. And that night, he took me into the back room where all the pastors were, and they basically led me through the gospel. And I said, I'm in. And that was the time I noticed my entire life change before me. And it wasn't like I was down and out and going through this or that. That wouldn't come until 2 years later, when my whole world's rocked because my wife decided she doesn't want to be married anymore. So I kind of came unglued for a while.
She was a lesbian and came out as a lesbian to him, and he went nuts.
So she came out and asked for a divorce.
Yes, but this is where the story gets weird, and I'm like, and I remember going, what do I do? Like, and I think if I had listened to this story now that I'm more seasoned, because this is like 7 years later or 6 years later, maybe, I would have handled this much differently.
Okay, 4 years. And then said, okay, I can't do this anymore. And so left that situation and then went in search of wife number 2.
Now, so you've been married, remarried. Your wife
Wife number 2. Who wants it?
Did you feel that there was any pushback from the church from that?
Oh no, absolutely not. That was just totally cool. They were very, 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 I can't say enough, very supportive, because, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, no one is completely innocent when a divorce happens. Even though I did not want a divorce, I wanted to work out what it was that was, I thought we were okay, right? I didn't have a problem. I had no grievances. And all of a sudden I find out, then I find out almost 3.5 years later that there was a lot of history in her background she never told me about, and that was kind of sort of manifesting. And so there were a lot of
Baptist summer camp issues.
I don't want to be married to Roy anymore. And so, yeah.
He acts like her being gay is like, oh, well, there was like shit in her background that like she didn't like tell me about, and like didn't like fucking like bring it to Jesus, and like if she would have like fucking like talked about this shit with me and like brought it to Jesus, then like our marriage would have been fucking fine.
Yeah.
Like, she's gay.
Right.
Like, y'all should have fucking talked about it before y'all even fucking dated, because like she's gay.
Well,
and like,
and in the church, right, you have all that pressure to not be gay, right? So she probably was trying.
Exactly. Right. Like if she hadn't been fucking raised in this environment where she like felt the need to fucking be closeted until she was literally a fucking married person who had given birth to a child with her husband.
Right. It's a whole, we could go on and on about that, and I have stories myself like about that kind of situation, but like there is like
he's like, oh, it was fine up until this moment that she said, I'm gay and I don't want to be married to you anymore. Like, no,
out of the blue. Out of the blue, it happened.
The problem started when she was like a friggin' toddler and was being fucking indoctrinated to say, like, oh, if you have feelings for women, like that's not no, that's bad. You only like have
Right.
feelings for dudes, and we're gonna like, I mean, because it starts
Right.
with, I've seen it, we've seen it at churches where it's like, oh, little Johnny's little girlfriend Sally, and blah blah blah, and it's
Right.
always like heteronormative like shit that
Right.
like they just assume that, like, you know, you like couple up children for some reason at churches. I don't know why people do it, but it's really fucking creepy. Like the whole like the flower girl and the
Yeah.
ring bearer and all of that
Yeah.
shit, and it's like, why
they
do we reinforce gender norms from the time
they-
that they're fucking toddlers?
Well, we know why. We know the short answer to that, right? But yeah. But
To
anyway,
God.
but it's gonna get more twisted. It's really gonna get more twisted really quickly. So again, trigger warning.
You know, without getting too deep into the details and everything, I think you can read into that pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So your life kind of, you became a Christian. Your life kind of took this crazy turn on you, and now you're talking about it being better. So like, in which ways like would you say that Christianity has been beneficial to you?
Well, for one, if I wasn't a Christian when my wife decided to leave me on Valentine's Day, 1990.
Happy Valentine's Day! Holy cow!
Valentine's
I know, right? Everyone
Day.
since. So
Do you have like, you know, like memories
That's
every
kind of
every year, there's no getting around it. This is just unfortunate. That was the day, and I can't forget. It's just, you know, and
Was she
it's
just
it is what it is
couldn't
right now. It's
hold
neither a
it
good thing
back
or a bad thing.
anymore?
It just is a thing. As I like.
Maybe her wifely duties were expected that day, and she's like, enough.
I just can't. I
don't know. I
can't
mean,
do it again.
like I said, I probably would have handled this interview very differently, but like I was trying to be well, and I still do. My interview process is always softball. So even if you say something that's I'm not gonna push back on you. I'm really might ask you a clarifying question, but you'll find that I don't push back on my interviews because I have a few people I've interviewed that I disagree with, like Spackle, right? But yeah.
Like to say so. Yeah. So my Christianity, if I wasn't a Christian 2 years in, and my faith wasn't as solid as it was, then I would have went through with what I tell people was my darkest time ever in my own head. And I had this thought. I lived in Bellflower, California at the time, and the thought was, oh, if I go through and do what I'm going to do here, the newspapers will read in the morning, Bellflower man kills wife, kills kids, turns gun on self. That's what I felt like doing. I had never, ever felt suicidal, ever. Never had a suicidal thought, ever. But at
Like,
that moment, that evening, I did.
total
And I thought about it for a half a
familicide,
nanosecond
like,
and said, yeah, no, thanks. Could I have done it? Definitely. I was, as they say, ticked off enough to do it. Absolutely. But I had to rely on everything I had, and that wasn't enough. So I had to rely on God. And had is not a must. It was like, that was what I wanted to do first. And I did do that first because as a Christian for 2 years, totally on fire for the Lord, he was preparing me for this. Because if he hadn't prepared me, he knew what I was going to do.
this is such fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, this is such, like, he's saying like, oh,
Yeah.
God saved me
Mm-hmm.
from doing this. God
Right.
was God. Your fucking stupid ass fucking religion was the one who fucking put you in that fucking position to begin with.
Right. So maybe he sees himself as like Hosea, where Hosea says, like, where God says to Hosea, go marry that prostitute while she runs around on him. You know, and maybe he's like, oh, I'm just so suffering. God put me in this position. God told me to marry a gay woman. I don't know. But
you know, sometimes we need
you're-
to do a review of that movie that's based on that book that's based on Hosea.
Yes, we need to do that, and we need to review the not Left Behind, but there's this other one, Image of the Beast, and these movies that are like Rapture. They're like fucking terrible, but also like they scared me as a kid. But anyway, back to Roy. You're stuck on the gay stuff. I'm so used to that I'm jaded. What I'm stuck on is that he's like he had the thought process, and this tells me something about him, where he says, oh, my life's out of control. I'm really hurting. I feel betrayed. My wife is leaving me. I think it's a good solution in my brain, and it's just a thought crime. I think it would be a good solution to end them both and myself.
Where did that come from? That came from fucking religion.
I don't think that came from religion. I think that came from being a narcissist. And the more you see Roy, the more you'll see that he's a narc. I'm telling you. Like the other video, you check out Tom Rabbit's video. Check out Tom Rabbit's video where he's talking about how
I think,
addiction's not real. You just need a Jesus.
but see, his religion is what enabled that narcissism to get to a point where he fucking had this woman under his fucking control to begin with.
But narcissism can exist, no religion required. All you need is a YouTube channel and the internet to feed you.
Yeah, but without his fucking religion, he wouldn't have been in that fucking position.
I don't know about that. I think you can have those thoughts, no religion required. I think that the difference is he thinks that he stopped because of Jesus, which I think there's something innately in people when they have those thoughts, because like I am a depressive. I have had suicidal thoughts. Like that's something I've struggled with since I was 8 years old, right? So I understand that. What I don't understand is people that are willing to take other people out. And that was what was freaky to me. Was like, "Oh, you're one of those control freaks." And that alarms me. But yeah. So anyway, that guy you can check out on Tom Rabbit's channel where he's telling everybody addiction's not real. All you need is Jesus. And it's really triggering. I was so pissed off, and people asked if I was okay after that video because they know I lost somebody due to addiction that I loved very much, that I was related to, and so they were like, "Holy fuck! Like, did that bother you?" Yes, it bothered me. Fucking Roy. Anyway, so that's my Roy rant. You probably drive you nuts. You'd probably be yelling the entire time. We probably wouldn't get through the video.
Sorry, is that what happened here? That's what happened here. So then...
No, you were really bad. Like, I think we disagree about religion being the cause. I think religion is a vehicle that people use, but I think the cause is something else. But that's just my thinking. But we could maybe discuss that another time.
I'm not saying like all religions. I'm just saying that like the particular like type of religion that says that like gay people are bad.
Oh, yeah.
And that like says that like women are your fucking property.
Yeah.
That is most.
Right.
fair.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like it isn't most. I'm just saying that like it isn't.
Right.
I have not researched every religion on the planet. So if there is a religion that doesn't do those things,
and it's not just the religion; it's the fundamental reading of the religion, right? But those are valid interpretations. And although a lot of people are moderates, and they go a long way to disputing that, and in fact refuting that, the thing is that if you're a fundamentalist, you can still read that into it, and that is my problem with it. Just to say, Van the Man is somebody who understands people very well. He's an extremely good judge of character, in my opinion. And if he says Roy's a control freak, you know that's an understatement.
Well, he's done his rounds with Roy quite a bit. He definitely knows Roy. Van, if you haven't seen Tom Rabbit's video, Roy, oh my god.
I'm
He's
not
back.
a good judge of character, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I think some people that think they're not a good judge of character are people that want to give people the benefit of the doubt and believe the best in people. So like you set the level much higher than they actually are. Am I wrong?
I told you about this book that I've been reading, right? It's like it's called Your Head is a Houseboat.
Wait, what? Wait, show it.
It's called Your Head is a Houseboat. It's by Cam Walker, who is a guy. I've done some research. He, him pronouns. As I mentioned previously, I have recently gone through a little bit of a mental breakdown, and I would not necessarily like recommend this book for somebody who is going through a mental breakdown. But if you're somebody who like maybe you want to get like a better kind of handle on like your mental health, and like you've never done like therapy, or like you're new to therapy, I would say this will like give you like a maybe a few month boost in therapy, right? Like it's like it kind of tackles those types of things that like you need to kind of get on top of to like
mental
kind of
wellness.
Yeah, exactly. Get your mental houseboat in order.
Right. Well, Roy doesn't believe in mental issues. You just need Jesus.
Oh, okay. There's not a mention of a higher power at all in this book that I found so far. So just thought I'd mention that. But I have
Actually-
gotten through like 4 chapters and I already have like this many notes. So
I actually felt bothered that my therapist was pressuring me on religion. I felt pressured on religion. And what's weird is because like I believe that there's a God. But I think I have so much hurt and church baggage that I'm just like I start to like as much as I'm like, calm down, savage. In myself, I suddenly get, "Arr!" And she's like, you're so angry. Are you angry with God? I said, no, I'm angry with people. like, are you angry with God? No, I'm angry with the people that say they represent God. That's who I'm angry with.
I've had so here's like the 3 issues that I get with therapists is like they like insist that like my sexuality is has to be the same as everybody else's and like what the fuck are you talking about? Or they like insist that like my mental process has like really changed and adapted like I'm sorry, but like autistic people, like we have been thinking the same way since we were literal children. Like, no, I did think those things and I did think those ways when I was a child. Like, please don't tell me that I didn't think that because I remember it. That's the 2 things. Or the other third one that I get is they're like, wow, you're like so well adapted. You have such good coping skills. And I'm like, then why the fuck am I here?
Oh my God. I had
Give
one
me
therapist
suffering.
say, where can we get you where you could feel like you don't need therapy and you graduated? And I was like, oh my gosh, am I talking for Shani for Christ? Like, because Shani for Christ always goes, I graduated therapy. I don't need it
There
anymore.
are
I'm pretty much
therapists
with
who like
therapy.
use that terminology, and I've had like a therapist that was like, "Yeah, like I
Yeah.
think like you graduated there," and it's like, okay, well then can you like give me
This is the best I can help you. Next.
right? And I think that I in some ways I appreciated that she was like, okay, like that's we've gone through like what I can do for you, but it's like, okay, but can you like give me the number to the university so that I can like continue my higher education? Because like I'm not done. Okay.
Yeah. That's funny. Anyway, I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing a therapist. I think it's good. I think that it's a healthy thing to do. It's not an unhealthy thing to do.
Yep.
And I wish more people would be willing to talk about it. That's why I talk about it. And I do have people like Steve that say I'm a sociopath, which is actually not true. Despite my story about if you fell out of a tree, and I'd be like, "Oh, your arm broke," because I do compartmentalize. But fucking nurses do that as well.
I'm
Yeah.
a narcissist according to
Are
Steve's
you?
logic, so it's
Are you a
cool.
narcissist? Well, I'm
Uh-huh.
a full-on sociopath. Get on my level. I'm teasing.
Make love to the camera.
You're making love to the camera?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Nobody's perfect. I'm British, so there
Yeah,
is
that's
that.
right. That's right. There was that one guy in the chat who seemed to have a problem with you being like Southern
yeah.
British too.
Yeah.
Which I don't.
What kind of British are you again?
I mean,
There you go.
I just know Annabelle sounds kind of posh, I would say, and to me Dee does too. And then there's
No, not to me, but yeah. Okay.
and then maybe not to you, but to me. And then there's Scouser, I guess you would say, which is
Yeah.
fuck that guy,
It's
Stizer.
fucking maths. It's fucking maths.
It's
you know.
math axiom.
He's
Yeah, that
serious.
guy.
You're fucking being serious.
And then there's the good Nikki that comes in chat, and she sounds exactly like you know nothing Jon Snow, the redhead. Exactly.
I don't know who that is even. You know nothing, Jon Snow, the redhead.
People who watch Game of Thrones know. You know nothing.
I read Game of Thrones. I did not watch Game of Thrones.
Okay. Well, she has like a northern accent, and it's
Okay.
it's
Nice.
like where Scotland starts and in
Mhm.
Britain ends.
Scottish accent. Aye.
It's on that edge.
Wild Eden has a great Scottish accent.
There you go. That's another one. You know nothing, Jon Snow, but not as Wild Eden sounds more like if I was to cast a druid, I might pick Wild Eden's voice. Like she just sounds like she's so easygoing and airy, and she sounds like we're just having a good old time. We're just gonna take off our clothes by the moonlight, and we're gonna go to the circle of rocks. We're gonna do our thing. Like, yeah, okay, sure.
Have you read my email to Wild Eden? Oh my goodness.
No.
No,
I feel like I have such a
I'm
boring
joking. I'm
accent.
joking. I'm joking.
You have a boring accent?
No, not at all.
To be fair, Simos, my wife does refer to you as that friend of mine that's from, quote, Turf Island.
as in trans exclusionary rights feminists. That
Wait,
one.
who called
Oh,
you from
okay.
Turf Island? What?
Oh, okay.
That's what Cora
So
says.
she likes me then, I
Simos
guess.
is, yeah.
I guess that means
Simos
she
is from
likes me.
Turf Island?
Yeah.
Why?
Simos is your friend from Turf Island.
What did you say that was so bad, Simos? What did you do?
He's
I have-
just from Britain.
I don't know. It could have been something I said, for all I know.
Oh, just because he's from Britain, Turf Island. Okay. Like, are all the turfs in Britain?
I mean, I guess.
J.K.
I think
Rowling.
the Turf Queen
Ah,
lives there.
now you've got it. Now you've
The
got
Turf
it.
Queen lives there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh my god. I
God.
can't stand Harry Potter. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to be a downer. But yeah. You know.
I love a lot of the. You know what's funny is I don't love Harry himself. Like, he's okay.
He's kind of a shit character.
I love. My favorite characters are Hermione and Snape and Lupin and Tonks, Nymphadora Tonks. Those are my favorite characters.
Tonks. I like Tonks. Mine is probably the Weasley mom. I can't think of her. Is
Oh
it
my
Maggie?
god. Is it because she's redheaded?
No, I didn't even think about that. She's just so like she just genuinely cares. And like nothing else fucking matters.
She has
just
Midwestern values. Like the good values, not the bad part of the Midwest, the good part.
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's just
yeah.
like fuck all that other shit. Like it doesn't matter. Like, are you safe? Are you okay? Are you like you know, like that.
And she was kind of a badass. Didn't she kill what's her face?
She did the
I killed Sirius Black. That one.
yeah, that one.
What is her name?
Bellatrix
Bellatrix Lestrange. Thank you. Yeah. She killed her. I think she called her a bitch in the movie. I was like, yes. You get her.
I'm
Mom
more
rage.
confused than I've ever been about Harry Potter.
That's because you're talking about the side characters. It's even more confusing.
Right.
I'm
And I can't-
basically married to Neville, just so you know.
I have no idea who Neville is. I'm sorry.
Okay. I love it.
He's a little bit of a hybrid of, like, if you were to take the character Neville and then mix him with the twins, and that's who I'm married to.
Aww. It's adorable. That's perfect.
Anyway,
I'm like, and I'm putting it together with pictures in my head, and it's adorable. It's
Anyway,
adorable. I can see it. Yep. Okay.
I am not a turf. I have been accused of
Molly,
being a turf,
that's
though.
her name. Thank you.
I have been accused of being a turf. I'm not a turf. I don't think. But I will say this, that I am a Hufflepuff, and
Same.
you're a Hufflepuff too. But what would Simos be? I mean, he hates Harry Potter. I feel like he'd be a Ravenclaw, but I don't know.
Probably. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think
I
so,
think
or
that's
do you think?
accurate.
Do you think? How were you as a student, Simos?
Ah,
He was a math
Simos.
major, right?
I was gonna say, like, he did the fucking
Yeah.
math shit earlier. He's really fucking smart.
nah, lazy. That's how I would say I'm a student.
Slytherin.
Yeah, I'm lazy. That's why I became a musician fan.
Well, Slytherin is ambitious, so
No, it's not really me. I have to
maybe he's
say.
a Hufflepuff. Well, no, they're loyal and hardworking.
Nah, it's not me. I'm not hardworking.
Would you just be like?
Also,
would you,
we like food, and like that's
Right.
not Simos.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't think he belongs in Hufflepuff. I don't know. You guys will have to decide.
That's
where-
probably
where
why I
you guys
don't like
belong.
it. It's probably why I don't like
There's
Harry
no
Potter.
house for you.
There's
Yeah,
no
exactly.
house.
I
Is he a Gryffindor?
Maybe. Do you like to prance
He
around and
might
go, "We're
be
a
one of
winner.
those,
We're a
like,
winner. We're brave and
legit-
courageous."
I mean, he gets up on stage
no,
with a fucking
can't be
guitar,
bothered.
right?
Yeah, that's true. I used to hate it though. I mean, I literally was scared of going on stage
Harry hated playing Seeker too.
until I was whatever 16.
People are deciding where you are. People are saying Slytherin.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
other Slytherins you
Fuck
may
you,
know.
negative exponents. I'm just saying. No, I'm just
I happen to know that.
Just kidding.
I happen to know that Kitty the atheist, is a Slytherin. Yeah, very proud
Okay.
Slytherin. Torn.
I just want to
not
say this
Torn
as a
Edge,
Hufflepuff. Helga Hufflepuff would tell J.K. Rowling that she's fucking stupid as far as her fucking views on trans people.
There you go.
Probably. Yes.
I would as well, to be fair. But also, I used to hang around with the unpopular kids when I was at school. I never was very popular. I mean, I was popular, but I was never one to hang around with the popular kids.
Oh my god.
Gryffindor.
Oh my god. Did you see what negative exponents wrote?
That's why I said fuck you, negative exponents. But like also,
Oh my god.
Okay.
also like I don't mean it. It's like you're allowed to have whatever opinion you want, and it's Spackle's channel. So like,
He just insulted me in my own channel. Can you believe it?
Okay. Well, anyway,
But,
I'm none
yeah.
of them. None of the above.
Gryffindor.
No, she's quite
we
nice.
we could do the sorting.
I'm a Ravenclaw.
No, not her.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
You need to say something first? Just say what your thing is. Whatever your house is about.
This is me.
I'm a Hufflepuff. I can't digest lactose. I'm a Hufflepuff.
That's not a
That's me!
He has 2 thumbs and he's a Hufflepuff. I'm a Hufflepuff.
Ugh, you can't even tell a joke right.
My name is sewn into all of my clothes.
Really?
One time, I found a room of requirement. It was just full of mouthwash. I can touch my tongue to my nose.
Oh, come on.
I'm afraid of ghosts. And sheets with holes in them. And regular sheets. One time I saw a bird.
Ugh.
One time I opened a jar up all by myself. I cut my hand up real bad.
Hufflepuff.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
There you go. I'm a
Okay.
Hufflepuff. And
That
Hufflepuff
explains
symbol
it.
is badger.
Explains a little bit then, I suppose.
Yeah. We're badgers. Don't tell Agrippa.
I saw something not that long ago with a badger on it. And I was like, why does it have a badger? My
Oh,
mom was
yeah.
like, well, how do you know what a badger looks like?
I just want to point out that badgers kill snakes, and so Slytherin beware.
Also, I live in the Midwest where there's no fucking badgers. Badgers do not live here.
Yes,
Well,
no
we have to
dangle.
release some badgers so they can kill your water moccasins or whatever you have over there.
We do have
Copper.
water moccasins. I can kill a water moccasin. Oh, I've also been reading a lot of just flood themed books. And so I've also been reading After the Flood, where the little like toddler child catches venomous snakes with her bare hands. And I think
Right.
it's awesome.
Were
Very
you
true,
snake?
nerd, yeah.
Were you a snake handler?
Yes, definitely.
No.
Also, there's this line in the book which like I'm gonna forgive them because like whatever. But the mom is like when the little girl learns to read, she like forces the little girl to like learn about like which snakes are venomous and which snakes aren't venomous. But like it sounds like they're in like South America, and for the most part in South America, like if they have round eyes, they're not venomous. It's like a very easy way to like just look at them and tell.
I don't know. I just treat all snakes like they might be venomous and then sort them out from there. Like, but
Yeah, I mean, like, also just grab it behind the head and like it's not gonna bite you, so you're fine. Like,
I have the worst. I have the worst. I don't know why that was censoring negative exponents. I just showed you. I have the worst luck. Well, maybe the best luck. I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. Me and rattlesnakes have some sort of understanding, I guess. And I have stepped over rattlesnakes. I have been rock climbing and had a rattlesnake like by my hand, just chilling in the sun. I'm like, ah. I have had all these weird encounters with rattlesnakes, and one of them was one of the weirdest ones. Was there was a rattlesnake in front of my friend's door, and I didn't know it, and so I was leaving their house. I'm in an urban area, but this is Southern California, and there's canyons everywhere, and the rattlesnakes just hang out, right? They just show up sometimes. So I'm leaving my friend's house, and someone made a smart aleck comment, and I just couldn't let it go, and so I had to make a smart aleck comment back. And I, as I was stepping out, I turned around and I looked, and my foot was like in mid swing, and then I go back to like see where I'm stepping, and there's a snake under my foot, but the snake is occupied because the snake is having a standoff war between two lizards that are going, and it's just sitting there like, and I was like, oh my God. And I just literally just jumped like a cat backwards, like, wah! Just, I don't even know how I did it. Like, I just flew, like, I swear it must have been 10 feet. Like, it felt like it at least. I was like, ah! And I was like, snake, snake, snake. That's all I could say because I was just so, like, surprised. Like, oh my God, there's a snake under my foot.
That's funny.
And then the guys come running out and they're like, oh my gosh, it's a rattlesnake. Let's kill it. I'm like, don't kill it. And they're like, we're not going to save the snake. Don't kill it. And we had an argument about whether or not we should kill the snake or not. And they killed it with a shovel. Oh,
I was gonna say, yeah, it usually gets killed with a garden hoe or a shovel. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete.
My Nana, who was not an outdoorsy woman, she was like the opposite of an outdoorsy woman. I don't know if there's a word for that, but like, yeah. So, one day my mom was like walking over to her friend's house back in the day when we would like walk to your friend's house, and there's a snake on the property. She went like told my Nana. When my mom was a kid, and my Nana like straight up went out and took like a garden hoe and chopped that motherfucker to bits. I think it was a rattlesnake.
God damn. She's just like, bam, bam, bam.
People have like visceral reactions to snakes. Like,
yeah. Well, even though I'm like, don't kill the snake. They're kind of technically your friends. They're verminators. Like when push comes to shove, I'm like, snake. Like it's just alarming.
Okay. And if it's a big one and you don't want to try and grab it, you don't have like a good where you can't like get.
I'm not grabbing any snake. Like it's crazy to
So
me
like
to think
put it in a trash bin or something.
I'm gonna change your name to Snake Grabber. That sounded way worse than I meant it.
Hang on a minute. We can't. No. That's not going to be good.
Strike that. I didn't think about the connotations.
Oh dear.
I dropped something.
At least it didn't make you throw up.
Leave it. I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah. I did have someone try to. No. It was a shovel. That means that's all I'm saying. That was my own fault. I shouldn't have had it out anyway.
Oh my goodness. You didn't have like a Lorena Bobbitt situation. Oh, I'm scared.
And at that note, Negative says it's not the size that scares me, it's getting bit.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, first of all, for the most part, if they're little, they don't bite that hard. If they're not venomous, you don't have to worry about it. If you're close enough to see their eyes, then you're close enough to like grab it behind the head, and then you won't get bit.
I don't want to grab the snake. What I want to do is shove them into a box with some other implement, and then push them away with some other implement.
My dick in a box. No, wait, that wasn't how that goes. Trying to remember how that song goes.
Oh God!
Oh no! I'm never gonna live this down. So glad my wife isn't watching right now.
I would try to take one for the team and go, I too grab snakes, but I don't.
You should try it.
I'll just put snakes in a box.
I wouldn't take one for the team, by the way. Just to put that out there.
You wouldn't grab the snake?
No,
Not
no,
into
no
it.
chance.
He's not into it. And you know what? I wouldn't. You don't. If people aren't into it, they don't need to be forced into it. Like it's
That's your own kind of bravery, as far as I'm concerned.
exactly.
And I'm having nothing to do with it.
Consent is key.
I feel like
I would go, hey, Savage, we need a professional.
I feel like Savage and I have something in common again, which is when something goes awry
It's a snake.
and there's a critter that doesn't belong, people go take care of that, and they point at the person, right? And usually, historically, it's me, even though I'm scared, right? Like I'm scared of it. You sound less scared. I'm scared of it, and I have to pretend like I'm not scared of it. You've gotten over it? I'm like,
I've been like bitten by most of the things, and it's not that bad. Like there's ones like snakes can be venomous, like that's. But like the rest of them, it's like pain is you kind of get over it. You got to take antibiotics, get stitches. Like the antibiotics, the worst part, really.
Wait,
for
say
a
that
lot
word
of shit.
again.
Antibiotics.
Thank you. I don't even know how to say it the way you said it, but I was like, what? Antibiotics?
Antibiotics.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah.
If you
so
just
like,
say all of the letters, like in the
Yeah.
order that they're in, it comes out antibiotics.
Just say all of the letters.
all the letters. Yeah. Well, you were right
That's-
about conniving being a C word, so there's that.
But yeah, that sucks. Like that does.
Purple snakes, yes. Sometimes, like if they have different settings, it's really good. You know.
I mean,
like. I mean, I'm just teasing.
Snakes.
Slow,
But anyway,
medium, and fast setting.
Did you say fast setting?
I said slow, medium, and fast setting.
Well, then there's also like the pattern, right? There's a pattern setting.
Yeah, that's true. Like the wave.
It could be like zzz, zzz, or zzz, 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 zzz,
Oh my
zzz.
god, some of them I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who is like, oh yes, this is what my coochie wants.
Right. I want to know who wants the one that's like, like that one. I want to know who said, I need that. That's the one I want to know.
Specific one that I was thinking of when I said that.
Like, this person likes a jackhammer, okay? Like,
but then
like I'm thinking maybe they have like some sort of issue where like their nerves aren't working so great, and they're just like, turn up the volume. Like I don't know. Or they like pain. One of the two. I don't know. Simos doesn't know what we're talking about. He's quiet.
I'm still
So Fiona, Spackle and I've talked about this before. I also don't have a problem with spiders. I kind of have like a thing for spiders. I like spiders. I maybe started to realize this a while back when my friend, I went over to his house and he had a pet tarantula, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Can we pet him? And he was like, most people are like, oh my gosh, that's terrifying. He's not going to come out of there, is he?
I would be like, where's the fire?
And I'm like, I feel like, can we pet him implies like, if he's aggressive, then probably we can't pet him. Like, it's not like, you know, like, it's not like I just like stuck my hand in there and was like, yeah, let's pet your potentially venomous spider.
He's a bug. He's not going to understand what you're doing. Like, it just seems silly to me. Like, I mean, he's a bug.
They're kind of cool. They actually like have a lot more going on. They have a lot more awareness than I think a lot of bugs probably do. But
so
I
I'm scared of
communed with
spiders.
the one spiders. So there's brown recluses in my house, and I got bit by one a while back, and we communed because I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And he was like, "Oh, sorry, my bad." And he like held up his little front whatevers, and he like backed away, and he was like, "Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad."
Did you use shrooms to commune?
We use spider venom or some shit.
Oh,
And
spider
like
venom,
since
okay.
then we've been chill. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm coming down here. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll give you like a wide berth. And they do.
So I got bit by something, and they don't know what. They don't know what.
She's the spider whisperer. Let's not let that pass. Okay.
So I got bit by a spider, and I got bit on my wrist in high school. On my wrist. I don't know how. So then it swelled up into like this huge like thing, like where it was like a purple maroony thing. I woke up with it and I was like, oh. And then all of a sudden, like because my family didn't believe in medical insurance because we didn't have it, we're poor and stuff like that. We're like, this will be fine. It's just a
It's
spider
America.
bite. It'll go down. And like, cool. And then all of a sudden it started streaking up my arm, and I'm watching it go up, and like it's not fine. And eventually I turned into like Hellboy because like I was like swollen from my hand all the way down, and it was all like this heat just radiating, and like it was like bong bong bong, like bubbly and stuff. It's so nasty. And so I'm like, this is bad. I don't want to lose my hand. So we go to the ER, and they give me some shots, and then they like they basically lanced it and drained it, and like, oh, it was nasty. And so like then I had this bandage all around all up my wrist, right? And I'm in high school, right? So I go to church group with my wrist all bandaged. and one of the church leaders comes up to me, puts her hand on the shoulder, and goes, "Can you come talk to me?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "It's okay if you hurt yourself, but we just want to know, did you cut yourself?" I was like, "Oh my God, no!" Like, and everybody was talking about how I was like suicidal, and like one of the girls who was one of the most preachiest girls ever. She reminded me of that girl from, if you ever saw the movie Saved, and it like the queen girl that's like has the prayer group about the homosexual sinner and stuff like that. That one. She comes up to me and she's like, "I'm gonna pray for you." And she starts praying about like how like there's demons of suicide and they're oppressing me. And I was like, oh my God, like no, stop. It's a spider. And she's like, sure. Just like, sure, it's a spider.
That is like so like that chick from Saved.
Sure. Yeah. Like she
Okay.
knows. She knows the truth, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my God, it was all from a stupid spider bite. So me and spiders don't have a commune. We don't we don't have an understanding. So
I'm sorry that the spider. I'll try to like discuss it with them and see. Like,
discuss, yeah.
be like Spackle's friends. It's fine.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yep.
Somebody asked, do you think that we are born with certain phobias, or did we develop them from some cause? And I will tell you that when I was a kid, they took us up in the trolleys up to the top of the St. Louis Arch, which is like it's the gateway to the Midwest. It's like it's a parabola, all right? Like that's, and the trolley broke down, and we had to like, because it's hot in there, so we had to like get out of the little pods in the little tram and sit on the staircase, which is the staircase, this is the access one, and it is as far down as you can see and as far up as you can see. It is stairs, and we had to
That's
like,
all scary. Yeah.
it was terrifying, and we had to like eat
Oh.
our lunches there, and like
Go sit on there. You're like, oh.
I know, I'm like a child, like trying to like balance my like Lunchable, and like it's like I still seriously, it was like ham and the yellow cheese. Like I remember exactly like which Lunchable it was and everything, like the
Oh,
ones
no.
that comes with the Capri Sun in there. And ever since then, I have been like weirdly afraid of like slopes. Which you guys know because you play DC with me.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought you were going to say Lunchables there.
We know about your slope phobia. It's not a cliff phobia, it's a slope phobia.
Yeah, I'm fine with cliffs. If it's like straight down, like it's fine, whatever. But if it is a slope, it's making my hands sweat.
I'm gonna give you some advice. Like, this is serious advice. If you go to Southern California and you happen to visit Disneyland,
Uh-huh.
and whoever you're with, I'm assuming me because I'm just wonderful and everyone wants to meet me. But if you're ever with somebody and they
I'm taking
take
Diana
you
with
to,
me.
if they take you to the parking lot, have them drop you off at the bottom floor, because Mickey's Garage has the scariest ride I have ever ridden at Disneyland, and it's this escalator that just goes straight down. And every time I'm like, whoa, I'm hanging on with both hands, and I'm like, I'm gonna fall. Like, what if there's an earthquake? I just think about all these horrible things because it's just so straight down, and there's like nothing. Like, yeah, and it's just, yeah. So don't let anybody take you there because it's like you can go to
I would
Disneyland,
flip out.
But skip the scariest ride of the park, which is the escalator.
Yeah. Okay. I do like roller coasters and stuff like that, but I don't. If it's like a very steep hill, I don't know why. Because of this experience, I think at the St. Louis Arch, getting stuck inside of a parabola and having to eat a Lunchable. Also, once you get to the top, the floor at the top is not flat. So like the whole time I'm just like ready to like trip and fall down that entire flight of stairs that goes forever.
You're
Spackle,
muted.
muted.
You're muted, and you're still
Oh.
muted.
It's okay. It wasn't super important, but I was just saying that like I'm one of those people where there's certain things and heights that bother me and certain things that don't. So if I am in a tree and it's swaying, as you do in ropes course, it is unnerving for me to be on a big old tree swaying. If I'm on a rock climbing, it wasn't, when I was fit, it wasn't that nerve wracking for me because I trusted the equipment that I was on. I wasn't that scared, and I wasn't a lead climber ever. I was on belay. But like when I'm on a ladder, and I still to this day, I am terrified of ladders. And I think it's because one of my coworkers died on a ladder. And so I'm just like, I used to work in a grocery store. He was a father of a few kids. And he just went, "Oop," and he just hit his head in the right spot and he died.
Oh,
So like
wow.
I've just always been acutely aware ladders are dangerous. And when they require me to reach out and grab something, I'm like, can't I can't do it. I can't make myself do it. I just hate ladders so much.
I'm like the worst with letters because I'm the opposite. Like I from like I used to work in a shoe store, and the back room in the shoe store is kind of like a library, but it's just shoes and it goes all the way to the ceiling. Right. And I used to like grab those tall ladders and like, walk with the ladder and stuff because
Oh
it was like
no. No.
well, it's like too much work to like climb up here and then like climb down
Is
and then
it the
climb back.
Lisa ladder that has the wheels and then you can like, oh
No,
my god.
because then you just walk it. And then you can grab onto stuff if you need.
I've just got to say once again, savage. I'm always so impressed. Yeah, really am.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
That's all right. I think when we play Daisy next time, we should start on a new server and just go for some more hardcore again.
Okay.
Are we gonna
But
do
if there's
hardcore
shit
player
with that
versus
green
player
gel
or
shit,
or
Oh, hang on a minute.
touch it.
Say again, one of you.
is it gonna be like the hardcore that's like pew pew pew, or is it the hardcore where it's like, oh shit, you're
Yeah.
sneezing, you're gonna die?
That's a good point. That is a very
Cool.
good point, actually.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah, no,
good.
maybe actually we need to do this thing with Speckle. With all three of us need to get on and do more PvP. So
Okay.
perhaps we should just go to the normal server and then just keep going up north until we keep dying.
I think
And get practice.
Simos gets the point. He said he knows that I want to murder some people first,
Yeah.
and then we can go back to I'm sneezing. I think I'm gonna die. Yes, you're not gonna make it.
Well, I found a really good server where they have it's one of the sneezing servers, except they have a special medical mod, which actually means you virtually need to be a doctor to play it, because there are many more cures and they've all got their medical names,
Ben?
and you can get. Well, yeah, Ben would be ideal. Yeah,
we need
yeah,
student Dr. Ben to play with us.
Ben would be ideal because you get a disease and it just tells you roughly where in the body you've got it.
Would
and
a
then you've got.
combat medic work? So could we get Drag to play?
Yeah, I know. Drag would be perfect
He's
as
a-
well.
he's
In
a
fact, Drag
combat
would be
medic.
ideal because he would know how to handle himself. I
Yeah,
said
but he's
I
gonna
once.
just tell us to take like Advil and take a knee or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, just keep taking the antibiotics. But anyway, it's a good little server because it's got all of this medical stuff in it. So we'll do that
Yeah.
after. But first, we do need to do this PvP, so we all get a little bit of practice
Okay.
doing PvP and killing people.
I kind of like the medical stuff too.
Can
We're
we
all
do that one
excited
where
about
we
that.
get killed in the deathmatch
Okay.
one where it was like people?
Yeah.
Wait, deathmatch one?
Yeah, there's a deathmatch server where you just go on.
We can't
and
even find each
you
other on it. 'cause
You
people
spawn
just-
into a very small area. You get guns already, and it's just people continually spawning and shooting you,
Oh, okay. And it's just people
and you just run around,
murdering.
shoot people. Yeah,
Got it.
basically.
A murder
Uh,
arena.
it's a good, yeah,
It's
it's
like
a murder arena. It's a good
Fortnite,
way to
but
get practice and stuff, right? But it's not the
not
real
all at the
game,
same
obviously.
time.
So,
Right. Well, I mean, is anything the real game in DayZ? Like
oh,
there's
that's a good
fire
point.
tornadoes. There is on one server children going ha ha ha, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you're in a building,
Yeah,
boom, boom, and
I
you
love that
fall
you're like
over.
boom boom, and then yeah.
And you're
Go.
dead if you're outside, and if you're inside you're unconscious. And so like one time I was running and I was like, the storm's coming, the children are laughing, and I tried so hard and I failed. And I crawled up this little piece of shelter. I think it was like a tower or something, and I thought, oh, the zombie won't find me, and the zombie followed me, and then it was like boom boom, and I'm like fighting the zombie off, and then like boom, and I pass out, and I'm like, oh great, I'm dead. And then I wake up and I'm still alive. I'm like, yes, I'm still alive. And then zombies like eat your face. Because you wake up, but you're not up. You're sort of like passed out on the ground. And I'm like, oh, well, that's just great. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we'll do the PvP thing first, since we've
Right.
got the guns and the spare guns and the spare ammo, and we've got all the armor and what have you.
Right.
We'll just run up to one of the military zones and just try and find some fights, and then we'll do that. And then later, when we get bored of that, we can go on to the other server with the medical stuff and see if we can survive. But anyway, I digress. So there we go. Thank you very much
You
indeed. I'm going to
digress
shoot
into
off.
DayZ talk.
Yeah,
So
I missed you
y'all,
guys. That's all. I missed you guys. So
I missed you
Same.
there
too.
you go.
Same.
So y'all, if you hadn't noticed, we kind of just like gave up watching everything, and we just kind of like we're just chatting.
Yeah, because fucking
But
Reds, man.
nah,
Like,
Threads.
He's a
Just gonna
dweeb.
he's just gonna like cuss and swear and try to intimidate. And when you know who he is in real life, you're like,
ladies and gentlemen, this fucking bullshit.
when you meet him in person and you see what a coward and how scared he is, like watching him play tough guy is the most hilarious thing ever because it's so fake. So anyway, uh I am going to sign off. We appreciate you guys watching. And if you could, please like, sub, share if you can. Uh, like, sub, share to Savage Minnow, who's over there, I think. I don't know which direction. I think this way. And Simos does F1 racing and DayZ content. So if you happen to tune on Simos's channel, you might sometimes see us banter and play DayZ. And if you're bored, you might get a laugh. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to sign off. You guys have a good day. It's good to be back. It's nice that my computer is working again. Hopefully we can do this more often. All right. See ya.